Yeah, Ray.
We go run this town tonight.
We are, yes, you know it's we are. It's Hamin Nation, Pledge of Allegiance. MSG's back, down a couple stacks, and we're about to hit it. Impact Attack, Infidels. That's right. And is it all Elite Impact? I don't know, man. We got something to say about this show as we go down the rabbit hole with 4 VKM pre-horsemen. It's MSG, it's Big Ray, it's Hacker Hamin, it's the Impact Attack, Infidels. YOLO! Good morning, Infidels. Yeah, we got plenty to talk about last night. I don't know. Not what I thought we were going to get. Combined with a big dose of WTF early on. So we'll get all the way around to it. I'm excited for tonight's Horseman show. Some stuff brewing, some possibly new opportunities in being an influencer for me as well. This morning, I want to give a huge shout out to Larry H right out of the gate, man, because it's crazy what the Noble Edge effect can do to drop a pebble in the pond. Where you guys know I haven't been 3D printing for a couple months, and I got one of my printers up and back running, and I was doing tests on the other one to see what the problem is, troubleshooting. You got to figure it all out yourself, kind of. And I think it's a motherboard that shot. And Larry H goes, "Hey, man, you provide us with so much free content, Hacker. Let me get that for you." And he sent it. It's coming probably tomorrow. Should be here with a new hot end as well. I ordered, and I'll be back on. But we tagged Creality, the creator of the CR10S, in there. And I've been having a conversation with them behind the scenes. I might be a new influencer for them, and should be cool. They might be sending me a new 3D printer, so CR10 or CR6 Max. So I'm excited to get that dialogue going. But you never know where these pebbles in the pond may go to create a wave on somebody else's shore. But I got some of my tidal waves with me here this morning who are always crashing down on you, Infidels. Back with a new graphic. It's MSG. How you doing this morning, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. We're back for another edition of Impact Attack. I tried to leave, tried to get out of here, try to go, and then at the end of AEW last week, they were like, haha, Matt, you're watching Impact again next week. So here I am. I'm back. I'm excited. I'm ready to watch. I'm ready to break this down with you. I'm ready to have a conversation with Big Ray, because Big Ray didn't seem like he was excited with some of the things he saw on Impact last night, and I was. So I think this will be a good conversation. And speaking of that man, ladies and gentlemen, this man is an ambassador to the Stevie Richards fitness program. Follow him on Big Ray Hernandez on Instagram, and you can follow along with his Stevie Richard fitness journey. He is the sexy, the sultry, the Mr. I mean, look at, he's always looking so fresh and so clean. Big Ray Hernandez.
Fuck, so early for that. God damn it. Just waking up, got my Broster's coffee over here. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am the reporter of the people, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to say to talk some Lucha Libre, which is your Spanish lesson for wrestling today. And my God, Ben Hamin, Matt Schaffer, do I ever have a lot of shit to say about today's show? And shit is the operative term for what I saw last night. It wasn't, it wasn't all shit, boys. It wasn't all shit.
That's not what your face
at the very end. At the very end, Matt, at the very end, it's like being with that really hot chick. You really wanted to be with her for many years, and you finally lay in bed with her, and you find out she has a 12-inch Johnson.
That's never happened to me.
Put it out there. Well, you don't know.
Never happened again. I mean,
what happened to you?
Never again, right?
Not a third time, he says. Nobody's tricking me a third time with this one.
Yeah, Colin's on number 4. I'm just saying.
I was just gonna say, did you guys see Colin's kid last night? He posted a different picture online. There's
another kid. He's got another kid.
And this one's look really cute. He's like wearing like a nice cardigan outfit, khakis and shit like that. I was like, damn,
they probably stole him right from a Christmas party somewhere.
That's probably what it was.
Not the same kid.
Fucking grabbed them. Not the same kid. But yeah, we're not kidding about last night, man. Left me scratching my head, and a lot of people. But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about making a marketing decision that worked. we watch Impact every week live, and we missed Melissa Santos, a little cute self in there during the breaks in between, but
best Impact ever on Twitch. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, do well. That's what I'm saying. Usually they're around 2,500 to 3,500 watchers at their peak during the Omega go home. They're at 45,000, 50,000 in there. Yeah. So, that you want to talk about increase in numbers. There's no denying that. However, what they gave them and showed them is a whole nother, bag of worms to talk about. But as far as the numbers and metrics there, and Khan's all about the metrics, boys. There's no denying that the success of driving people to Twitch there was crazy.
Here's the thing, okay, and I had made this point. I believe I was going back and forth with my buddy Gavin Otts, who I love you, buddy. He's on the Hamin Media discussion group. Very open-minded, very cool dude. And Gavin, if you're listening to this, I'm going to say the same thing here on live on air. Basically, yeah, you can get a pop, you can get a numbers spike. Mm-hmm. The main thing is, can you keep that numbers spike? And did this show make new fans of AEW? Now me, it would probably be the other way around. You would look for AEW fans to become new fans of Impact Wrestling, but I'm a guy that doesn't watch AEW. I'm a fan of Impact Wrestling. So what do I want to do? I want to see if AEW is good enough for me to go and watch the following day. Did this show give me enough to say, all right, I'll watch tonight, see what's going on? Well, all I have to say is that I'll probably be watching the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much left on the table, and I had creative ideas that we can get to. One thing I did want to just breeze around you, Matt went down the rabbit hole this morning. I brought it up last week on the Horseman and Russo brand, and tonight we have the creator coming on Conspiracy Horseman at 7:30 with us from 4VKM.com, 4VKM on YouTube. These very interesting, epic, and kind of Q-based videos that tie in Vince McMahon and WWE and Trump and the CIA all the way back to JFK assassinations and John Kennedy Jr. and even back further in this new one, all the way back to, World War II connections. So it's very interesting, this propagandist and this artist who's doing this stuff. And I'm excited to hear what they have to say. And I kind of fell into our laps in the last week as he saw the show as an avid listener and reached out, and we had no idea. So I'm trying to know as little about him as possible beforehand so we can get the real and raw tonight, man.
Yeah, I was watching the video this morning while I was on the shitter, and I got to tell you something, man. Really intriguing stuff, and I love the way he takes all this information, crams it into this short video, and it's just like, it's so much information. You have to find yourself actually looking back, going backwards. All right, wait, what did I just see there? You tap the little gimmick on your phone, go back 30 seconds, go back 20 seconds, go back 10 seconds. What the hell was that? Dude, a lot of really intriguing, interesting things. I'm looking forward to listening to the Conspiracy Horseman this week, but I cannot wait. I swear to God, I cannot wait to review this show. This is one of the very first times that I really want to talk wrestling on a wrestling show. That makes sense.
Well, there isn't much to review, unfortunately. There was so many packages. Before we get into it, though, Matt, what were you thinking? You were pretty 4VKM obsessed this morning.
Yeah, I found it to be a little bit concerning based on some of the videos that I had watched. One that stood out to me right away this morning was John Cena doing a public service announcement, taking his shirt off. And I was like, what? How does this have anything to do with World Health Organization and news? And really, it just looks like it's a propaganda piece for Donald Trump in hiding in plain sight. I'm not saying that I'm for or against them. I'm just saying that's how the piece comes off without saying, hey, don't believe the media. Believe us, that's kind of how this promo came off, or go research multiple things and make your own decision. But while that's going on, let me take my shirt off so I can distract you from the actual message or information you should go look up, and just walk away from this thinking, oh, John Cena really cares about me and he's hot. So it was a very interesting PSA. The reason for that is because it's stimulation and an emotion, and in marketing,
the whole thing is to tie a product or a message to an emotion. So sex is obviously why they say,
right? You got to anchor the emotion.
Yes. So, no, you're right on it, man. The deconstruction, but it's not like 4VKM produced that. He's just putting it out there.
No, yeah, no. I'm just saying it was crazy. I hadn't seen it. I mean, I don't know if this was coming on WWE programming. I haven't watched WWE programming in the last couple of years, so maybe it was just a big shock to me. And everyone's like, whatever, I've already seen it. But for someone who hadn't seen it, I was a little taken aback by seeing that type of a promo. I was expecting, if he hadn't taken off his shirt, maybe a little bit different. But clearly, obviously, as you know, we're talking.
Well, let me tell you
trying
something.
To draw the hormonal reaction to it. Go ahead, Rid.
No, I'm just saying, if I look like John Cena, I'd be walking around with my shirt off all the time. Like literally, I'd be going to the grocery store without a shirt. I would be going to parent-teacher meetings without a shirt. He doesn't want no kids or anything like that. I'd be going everywhere without a shirt. So the fact that John Cena didn't have a shirt on was not the problem. The fact is that AEW ruined Impact Wrestling.
All right, he's hot. Let's get right to it, you guys. Tune in tonight, twitch.tv/conspiracy. Before we do that, Twitter bomb today, 2:50 Eastern time.
Yes.
You can go and copy and paste from Hamin Media Group, from the Discord, Russo or ours, and we're all going to launch 2:50 today. Try and beat the Twitter algorithm to get the free month at Russo's brand going. And then 3 o'clock, we're on the front page of Twitch, Stevie, Russo, and myself for the sports section. So should be pretty awesome. We want to beat the algorithm, you guys. We've been shadow banned and things been happening on YouTube long enough. It's time that we start mobilizing and greenlighting our soldiers out here. You guys have been so awesome in the community. It's time to strap on the Twitter bomb vest, and we're going out there to beat them today with hashtag free month, hashtag Russo's brand, hashtag free, whatever else you want to add if you can get any characters. And I got the links in there for his Twitch for 3 p.m. and for Russo's brand for the free month. And if you're not a subscriber at Russo's brand, it's a free month right now. Go over there, sign up. It doesn't cost you a thing, you guys. That's what we're trying to do is increase the fold, because we got a lot of movement right now, and it's based on you guys. I'm getting a lot of messages of, hey, I found this show through Vince being on K100, through going to Russo brand to get into Hamin Media Group. I mean, we're still the underground here. People are still being lit up every day by all the content that we got going down, man. So this is what we're trying to do in this push before the 2021, and really take a piece of the mortgage brokers audience and the Meltzers morons. And, even last night we were doing mini shots in the Impact Twitch of letting people know about Russo's brand. And some of them would get through and people were put it over, and others got banned from the Twitch last night. So some soldiers die on the battlefield. That's how it goes. Just a small wound right there if you got banned from the Impact Twitch last night. But I appreciate your guys' sacrifice in service. But today, 2:50 Eastern, Ray. 12 West time. We're gonna drop the Twitter bomb, Hamin Media style. Let's show them what we can do.
Oh, dude, man. Yeah, I posted something. If you guys want to go to my Twitter at Big Ray Hernandez on Twitter, I actually posted it last night with today's date, with the time that we're gonna, do the whole Twitter bomb gimmick, dude. So you can go to my Twitter also and copy and paste it there if you can't, if you're not on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, man, let's do this, man. 2021 is gonna be freaking amazing. Straight up, it's gonna be really good. I mean,
as fucked as 2020 was for Hamin Media Group and Russo Band, it's been pretty good as far as the headway we've made together, man. For us to all be in lockdown and producers at home, we've put a positive spin on almost everything, haven't we?
I mean, you can't get any worse than 2020, and you absolutely can't get any worse than Kenny Omega pointing at a TV screen going bang.
You could, I imagine.
Before we get into Impact Wrestling, I've got some updates here from our Hamin Media Group's resident contributor, Hot Sauce William Alicia. Hot Sauce Willie. Just some news and rumors he put last night in the Hamin Media Group. Just go over those really quick. WWE has plans to have Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey as the last two entrants for the Royal Rumble, with the two finishing off the match. When Seth Rollins returns, he is rumored to be facing CM Punk at WrestleMania 37 if CM Punk signs for a big money return. An unlikely rumor now going around is that WWE is now very much interested in working with AEW in 2021, with Triple H being a supporter of this idea. Furthermore, it's being reported that Vince McMahon is interested as well, as he does not think that the product is a threat to WWE. A supposed invasion angle could happen where we get Kenny Omega facing off against Roman Reigns. Then there's other speculation going around again that Dean Ambrose may return, as Vince is going to offer him a big time contract, as well as the returns of Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, which we don't need to really talk about because that happens all the time. But what do you think about the unlikely rumor? And I thought it segued well into this. Vince McMahon and WWE apparently working with AEW. Big Ray Hernandez, why don't you go ahead because you look like you're upset. You want to start?
Can I go first, please?
Please.
For those fans of Star Wars, you know the famous scene where you have the fish-looking motherfucker. He's like, "It's a trap."
Yeah.
Please, AEW, listen to me. Listen, Uncle Ray. If you guys want to succeed, do it on your own. You don't need to work with the WWE. This shit, all of this, you know what this is? This is what the WWE did to ECW back in the 90s, if you remember. And all they were doing was they're basically scouting talent. They're gonna take your Kenny Omegas. They're gonna take your what is this? Orange Cassidy and all these other guys. Darby.
Take Orange Cassidy. I don't want him.
Stinger Allen. What is Stinger Allen? That guy, little skinny Sting. Dude. They're gonna whatever. Yeah, Derby. Yeah, Kentucky Derby Alley. Anyway, they're gonna
give you a call. You can talk in his face like that if you're gonna make comments like that.
Oh, I have no problem talking to anybody in their face.
I'll help you out then.
Y'all word up. Ben, I think Ben knows the deal. Me and Ben look eye to eye when it comes to that. So there ain't no skinny painted face geek gonna get in my face who knows a couple of wrestling hoes gonna talk shit to me straight up. So let me just finish off with that. That's number one.
Talking shit. I think you're the one just talking shit. That's all.
All right, so I'm not talking shit. I'm talking facts. How's that? Okay. So with that being said,
fact. But I'm just saying let's not lie to the audience. Those aren't facts. Those are your opinion that you don't like Darby Allin.
No.
Thing. That's what I'm saying.
The fact is that if Darby Allin was in my face, I would say the same shit.
Okay.
That's the fact.
Okay, that's the fact.
Getting me fucking hot right now this morning. Hold on, let me get a little bit of Russo's brand coffee.
Well, I can get hot too because I know Darby too, and I've called his matches and I've worked with him, so I could take offense and say that it's not the kind of person he is, but I'm not.
You can.
I'm just making sure we let this is your opinion. I just wanted to make that clear. That's all.
No. It is my opinion, and here's the thing. My opinion is based on facts. Then the fact is that I'm not afraid of any man. Fact.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about more. I just don't like you sitting here talking trash about him and trying to say these are facts.
Except for Ken Shamrock.
That's what I'm saying.
Except for Ken Shamrock. But I can listen. I'm telling you the truth. Ben, I'm serious. If Darby Allin wants to get on this show, bring Darby Allin. Bring your boy Darby Allin, and I'll tell him what a ripoff he is. How you like that?
That is your opinion.
Challenge
These are not facts. These are not 100% facts. Just this is a big.
Oh no! It's a fact for me based on decades.
Okay, can you continue on? You're just going to continue to try and spin it any way you can to where it's a fact for you. These are not facts. This is based on Big Ray's opinion. Big Ray does not like Darby Allin. Big Ray would like to, if Big Ray had a confrontation with Darby Allin, BigRay believes that he would tell him to his face however he feels. That is the facts. So let's move on. Let's move on then.
That is a fact. I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about now.
You didn't like AEW? I mean, sorry, Impact Wrestling last night, or you were the ECW? You were
no,
WWE.
You're going to say that AEW doesn't need WWE in the.
Oh yeah, so basically, AEW. If you guys, again, like I said, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. First, I'm going to reiterate the fact that AEW, you don't need to work with the WWE. If you want your talent to be stolen, if you want your talent to be scouted, then do that. If you don't think you guys can succeed on your own, then do that. That's fine. But Vince McMahon is maybe crazy, maybe old, but he's freaking devious. And this is what he's done this before. And by the way, this whole partnership with Impact and AEW, I think to Dr. Ted last week, I don't know if it was on the Monday Locker Room. I think it was this week on the Monday Locker Room. He was mentioning that this happened before. No, Stevie mentioned this happened before with the AWA, with World Class Championship Wrestling, with the NWA, with all these other organizations that got together and did big Super Clash. Oh, wow, Super Clash. You're going to take out WrestleMania. Never works. Because there's going to come a time where Impact Wrestling, excuse me, I'm so hot, is going to be like, oh, well, our champion should go over. No. AEW's champion needs to go over. And that's going to be a big problem moving forward. Facts. Big problem moving forward. And I don't like Darby Allin.
Yeah, I mean, will history repeat?
Don't have to like Darby.
Possibly it will, but I don't think after what we saw last night that there's a big, for them to get to draw and get over on WWE. And you're right, and them not needing them, you have to do something between Impact and AEW to set them off and make each company. That didn't look like that last night at all. It looked like a buyout's coming. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So, overall show wise, why would I say that? What did we see featured most last night on AEW?
AEW, or you mean Impact?
Yeah, on Impact, excuse me. Yeah. What did we see featured most on Impact last night? And not even featured fully the right way, in my opinion.
Oh, you're asking
Omega or AEW and Tony Khan?
What were the most overall on the show? Things that you saw, the most segments. What was the most?
A lot of talking segments.
Packages.
Saw
Bully Ray. Saw Motor City Machine.
Oh, you're talking about Impact Plus between Twitch. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, dude, on every commercial, it was all from the library.
Right.
They highlighted the library last night. There's no value. There's no value in anybody really on Impact. I mean, love the performers. Moose could be a champ anywhere. Sammy Callahan is fire. There's no doubt about it. Fala, Rohit. The talent's great. There's no doubt about that. The value in a sinking company, which there's no way Impact is making any money, is that library. And they featured it last night with all the start with Sting, everybody, right? When I saw that, I go, this is the real business. It ain't about the invasion and the creative and the da-da-da. I think we're going into a bargain basement sale. And Ed Nordholm and Anthem, I remember when it was going down with Billy, like there was a little heat right there because the payment was late or some shit. And Billy went online, Corgan, and goes, yeah, when you pay me my $1.8 million. And they're like, all right, here it is, print by Monday or whatever. So they weren't belly blushed, So if that's the price, is there been a devalue, an increase in value? Is Anthem going to take a bath? How much can they really get for the tape library? Is that an asset that Khan wants that he can then play leverage against WWE with because he's got the TNA tape library? So if he wants to sell out down there, I'm just telling you how millionaires play. Khan might have fun with, being a creative and booker, but if you can acquire assets to build that and know that you're going to sell out and you can work them, he in that shift could actually make money off that at the end of the day in his folding.
Did you guys see Scott D'Amore's tweet? I think shortly after the show. Can I read it verbatim?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So basically Scott D'Amore tweeted this last night with a picture of Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone looking like way more of a man than Tony Khan will ever. Well, I enjoy watching hashtag AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays anyway, so why wouldn't at Impact Wrestling take Tony Khan's and at AEW's money? That's a good point. And he continues, let the whole world know that after a rotten Monday night, you get back-to-back nights of great action, starting with Impact on Access TV every Tuesday night. What do you guys think of that tweet?
I don't disagree. I'm excited. I thought last night's Impact was good. And I thought there was some stuff on there. Obviously, we can go through that. I didn't thought that.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad Impact, but it wasn't Impact. You know what I'm saying?
It was not Impact. It hasn't been the traditional Impact we've been watching for sure. Obviously,
it was a chopped show last night, and there was some good storyline stuff that carried over. But Ray, that's interesting because he's shitting on Raw, and Raw was brutal this week. Brutal, Bob.
Yeah, bad.
The last minute was the only thing worth it when they did the swap out with the Fiend and Bray. That was the only thing that was creatively like, oh, okay. Like everything else was torture. But D'Amore's probably one of the smartest shady workers there are, bro, like when it comes to being management. So he knows what he's doing to ruffle the feathers that way. I don't think the WWE thing plays into it. but I also don't think they thought this shit out how they should have, going from Wednesday last week till Tuesday this week, when we know Impact's a taped show and they had that time to do something. I don't know, bro. This just didn't work for me. And the segment you're talking about with Schiavone and Khan was the most disturbing, way more disturbing than Kenny Omega's close. That was kind of lackluster. We'll get into that as creative choices go, but it's just this bought time was kind of like a rib on Impact being scumbag, you know what I mean? Like that they'll sell time, and then Schiavone's standing there, and Schiavone's the guy with the voice, and he kicks it right to Khan, and Khan cuts the big promo, putting himself over, and that he might buy Impact, and that he's doing like trying to be cute and coy, and you know he's coming off as like, you know, some type of Asperger's or something, bro. You know, like
weird.
Slight touch of something, you know, he's an analytic guy. With all genius, there's madness, and his is some antisocial thing that he really wants to be a social dude, but on camera that the awkwardness just plays like stumbling forward, and anybody watching that's not going to convert anybody. That's not going to get you a sale. That's not going to win you a shot in the war. That was self-serving, and even Schiavone standing there like cringy and awkward next to him. Like you just pulled him into the scene for credibility. And then this weird stuff of like, oh, Sting. Oh yeah, I haven't talked to him in 25 years. Well, that would be 1995. That was the last time you interviewed Sting. So weird stuff in this, like what was supposed to be a tongue-in-cheek 80s infomercial. It just didn't work at all. And everything's building up to Kenny Omega. Hold on, Khan's got to do a run-in and steal all the spotlight before we build up to where it's that moment. Just so much wrong and cringe with it, bro. Like the internet's going to eat this for lunch today, dude.
Hey, well, you know the whole thing about body language, how when you're standing in front of when you're standing in front of somebody, you have your arms folded. It's kind of like a protective or confrontational type. You know, you have Tony Khan there with his arms folded, trying to make his arms look bigger than what they actually are. Again, when I made the statement, and I wasn't joking, that Tony Schiavone looked like more of a man, I'm talking about physically. I think Tony Schiavone on camera looked like a bigger, like a man.
Khan's sitting there too, like this.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Push his biceps up. Like, look at, I'm doing curls with MJF, and I might be on B12. Like these weird things of like trying to be one of the boys. He bought time to rib and be one of the boys, to attempt to be, and it just doesn't. Somebody's saying Khan was playing early heel Vince in Memphis. If that's the reference, what a terrible choice that would be, to be like waka waka. Everybody's gonna get this little ditty. Sit back, bro. Talk about a swing and a miss, and actually doing more that did more damage to the AEW brand than most of their botches do in a week, bro. That is going to go down when people look back. Like if this company goes out of business, that's going to be a point of like, wow, why did nobody step up and grab him by the back of his neck and fucking huck him off camera, bro? Like, it's unbelievable.
I want to say something, and I want to clarify something, because I feel like I have to continue to clarify myself to people. I do not want AEW to fail. This is fact.
Who wants failure?
Hold on.
The fact that there's success, and then there's like, oh, this is embarrassing.
No, listen,
it's embarrassing to see that shit, bro.
Listen, hear me out. I really do not want AEW to fail. Why? Because I want that alternative to WWE, because I don't think WWE is any good, and I hate the fact that WWE
is good.
I know, but I hate the fact Impact is great. I hate the fact for now that WWE doesn't have to be good, if you know what I mean. They don't have to be good because you're going to watch anyway, right? Okay, so I want AEW to succeed. But you know, Ben, when I was listening to you, I keep getting the shows. You're on so many shows, but you know, I wanted to scream into my earbud that I agree with you when you were saying how, you know, AEW is basically doing what WCW did in the early 2000s.
He loves,
I'm sorry.
He loves WCW, but he's going right down the same road to war, armed with the same soldiers who are now 25 years older,
Right.
and that couldn't get it done the first time. You did, like, somebody give this guy Sun Tzu Art of War, please, and lock him in a closet until he reads it 2 or 3 times. Like, there's just simple things that you don't do to repeat. That you're not even looking back. He claims to be a student of history in the game, and you're not looking at the winners and losers. If anything, you should be emulating what WWE did during that time, which was throwing multiple fuck yous, and even through ECW, where the big boys play with themselves and all that kind of fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not doing any of that edgy stuff. He's trying to do edgy on Impact, and there's only 160,000 people watching. You got to do that on your own show and beat the shit out of them, being cool and hip while they're being 74-year-old idiots over there. We're not getting any of that, dude. We're getting fanboy stuff, buying superstars so you can put yourself next to them and act like it's 1996 all over again. That is a losing strategy, my friends. Absolutely losing. There's no way to win there.
But I'll be watching tonight. I will be watching AEW, but like I said, whether it be on replay, on delay or whatever, or live, I'm gonna watch AEW tonight. So this, it's funny because as much as I hated the ending of this show, and by the way, I have a whole thing to talk about with the whole goddamn bus, in the back, where I feel that Kenny Omega should have been in an Impact ring. That would have made much more of an impact, if the pun intended. But I'm gonna watch tonight because I want to see why they did what they did on Impact and how, and if they, we can discuss later how they can book this in a way tonight that it's gonna be something special. Like did it? I'm gonna watch it. It's that whole slowing down on the highway to see the car wreck. To see how many people are actually dead, to see if you see a dead body, I'm saying, being pulled out of a wreckage. It sounds terrible, but that's what it is for me right now. Well, AEW still has the opportunity to win me as a fan if they do it right. Can they do it right?
They already took a big misstep out of the gate here.
No, they've already lost you as a fan. I'm sorry. I don't think they're bringing you back.
No.
I watch your social media every week. I don't think they're bringing you back, buddy.
That is not a fact. That is your opinion.
I think
that is my opinion, but based on historical analysis and data and how you speak about AEW, I would take the over under that it's not going to sway you back.
Trend point to
no.
But you guys were talking about Impact Wrestling being cut up. I thought that was interesting because we talked about it last week in regards to that they already filmed at the end of the year. So it definitely felt like that this was chopped up segments, and maybe that's why there was no Kenny Omega in the ring. The show has already been done.
And AEW is not chopped up.
Right, they're live. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So how you either have, that's a good point, Matt. You either have 6 weeks of long-term business ahead where the business is already shot for Impact and they know how it's going to play out live on AEW and they stick to it, or this was a one-off and we're back to the scripts and shit that they shot for Impact, and AEW will just continue to do their thing, and Callis will show up on the show with them for the live stuff, which is what I think will happen. I don't think they've shot 6 weeks of overarching story with AEW. I think it is booked on the fly. They made the decision and they fucking did it that way. Maybe there's 1 or 2 other things in the can, depending on it, but not what coulda, woulda, shoulda been done. And we'll talk about it.
So that leads me to believe we're not going to get any AEW or Kenny Omega in-ring segments. That it's going to be these pre-produced type of spots because they've already filmed out through the end of the year.
Yeah, but you could still, Ben, I'm sorry, but you could still get Kenny in an Impact ring. It's not like there's a crowd there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
they can just open up the stage.
Impact should come to AEW. So if you're going to do something that way, it's about the other way coming back. Dude.
Do you think that's going to happen tonight?
I hope so, but here's the thing. Right. I mean, we're jumping all over, but the way they didn't finish it, I'll just go down one avenue. Josh Matthews has to go out there by himself. Could have kidnapped Josh Matthews if you wanted to, and then the Impact has to come rescue Josh Matthews. Or fucking they have a bus there. Josh Matthews comes out, Out comes fucking Brian Cage. A lot of guys and starts beating the shit out of Josh Matthews. Here comes the Impact locker room. Out of the bus comes the AEW locker room. Parking lot brawl, and we go off the fucking air that way. Come back to AEW this week. Guys are beat up, and Impact invades again, and we start the show off hot right there that way with the brawl continuing.
Now, I do want to give Ray credit here in the regards to this whole setup of this competitive nature still doesn't make sense. If you're Impact, why do you care that Kenny Omega showed up? Cool, Kenny Omega's fucking here. Awesome.
Because Don Callis is a top
Great,
guy.
Don Callis is here too. He works for us and he's helping get us more exposure. I guess what I'm getting is there hasn't been that collision, I guess. Well, is that what you're trying to set up for tonight?
They did the groundwork. They did the groundwork in the one scene with Tommy and D'Amore to set off, like where Tommy is trying to be like, I'm warning you. He's like, don't worry about it. Numbers up.
Oh, later on. Yeah. Right, okay, the show.
Okay, let's hit the show so we're not out of all around.
Before we hit the show, I just want to give a big shout out to our chat and a big shout out to Fudge 420. Looks like he's up and at 'em, bro.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, I see him here. Strangler Sally. We got J Hall 8669. We got the Wrestling Radneck, 2K Benny. I mean, we have a Buckshot Kid, but do I have to do the underscores? No, we don't have to do all the underscores. We have a nice full chat going on here. So thank you guys for joining us so early in the morning. I
39 strong, man, for the Impact Attack. Great numbers last night on the watch along. Obviously, everybody did great numbers, and everything's just been moving forward, dude. You've got Val Venus in the fold, possibly for Conspiracy Horseman for VKM.
I'm working on it.
A lot going down, man. Stevie Ray's brand. I got to get a hold of everybody this week. Rip Rogers podcast getting recorded this week again. So everybody's just killing it, man, on every front. Goldilocks as well. Just unbelievable stuff going down. Hamin Media Group, Russo brand free month. That's what I'm saying. People are going to start cutting the cord and the cable soon. They're done with the propaganda, and here we are ahead of the curve, dude.
I do find myself at home not watching much television, going to Twitch and watching back some of the old shows that we're doing, or not old shows that were just produced. Going to the YouTube, just sitting around the house doing stuff like working out or doing what I have to do and listening to the Star Trek episode. I mean, the Star Trek podcast, or then jumping over to the NFO podcast, and then dude, you have enough in one day. You have enough content to fill an 8-hour shift.
Absolutely. And it goes by when you're driving on the road or anything like that. I know we got a lot of truckers.
Yep.
And if you get behind, then you got content for days like I do right now. Seriously.
Absolutely, man. And that's all because of all HMG production staff. Shout out to all the super producers, man. Everybody's just absolutely hitting on all cylinders. I couldn't ask for more.
And to JC, big sports fan. He says he already cut the cord. So he's already ahead of the game. Just saying. Just putting it out there.
And I just want to go ahead one more time and say shout out to Fudge 420. I'm glad to see you're doing well, Fudge. I know that you were going through your medical thing, and I'm not going to stooge what I was on. If you want to be part of the Hamin Media Discord, you can get all the information because he was very honest there. But shout out to Fudge.
Big Evil Pop too, right? Big Evil Pops had some surgery, I think, too, man. So
is he here?
No, he's not, but he was in the chat last night, and he's here all the time. So hopefully I'm glad he's not here. And I want to say shout out to Josh, owner of 2CW, had a big surgery, and unfortunately had some issues with it the other day, and just that shit that you hope doesn't happen. So he's resting, even though he wants to be up and about. I said, you fucking lay down for 2 weeks, or I'm going to come over there and put it on you. So, if you're recovering from that stuff, don't push it, you guys, especially during the holiday season. Rest the fuck up, throw on HMG, throw on Russo brand, and just kick back and let people fucking wait on you for a minute.
Fudge 420, as we jump into Impact Wrestling, again, it's really good to see you here. If you need anything, we're here for you, bro. I am so excited that you got a couple of inches shaved off that hammer. What I mean, that's what it was, right? He had the whole gimmick, cut in half. Yeah. Yep. So you know what, guys, let's go get some gas station blue dick pills, because as Rip Rogers would say, don't get no better than
doesn't get better than that. Mm-hmm. I'm getting better than that.
Are you guys not going to Are you guys not going to do the sound effect?
Well, we can do that. Talk Japanese. What did she say?
Japanese.
Oh, I love
Don't
that.
tell me what to do.
Rope.
First of all, don't tell me what to do.
And if any of you refute that, I dare you to come out here and do something about it.
No way.
Who was it? Who was getting hot? Was it John Hartnett or was it Chris Silvio in the chat the other day when he kept telling you what to do? I think it was Hartnett.
Oh, it was Hartnett. Yeah. He got
Awesome, good stuff, guys. You guys have to jump into the chats, man. The live, the view. What is it? The watch alongs where we do it on Discord. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Everything's going down, man. Discord here, Twitch, all that SmackDown Live.
Hit us up, Hamin Media Group on Twitter. Send me a DM. Send us a DM, and we'll send you the link or to the Discord or Facebook. If you jump into the Facebook, someone will drop the link there as well for you.
Sure. All right, cocksuckers, let's go. I got work to do.
I know. Let's do it. Impact Wrestling tonight starts off with highlights from Kenny Omega's victory over Jon Moxley last week on AEW Dynamite. As it opens up the show, Josh Matthews then explains, obviously in a pre-produced package, that we are shown a tour bus arriving in the parking lot. As Josh Matthews informed us that he'll be entering the bus for an exclusive interview later tonight. And then we cut immediately open to our first match of the evening, which was Josh Alexander being accompanied by Ethan Page, taking on Chris Sabin, who's accompanied by Alex Shelley. Just a one-on-one match. Ultimately, the jackknife pin was locked in by Sabin, and he picked up the victory over Josh Alexander's the North after, I believe there was a distraction from Ethan Page as he was arguing with his partner, telling him to destroy Sabin and put him away. And then when he turned around, Sabin caught him. So it looks like, and this kind of went back, winner Chris Sabin, this kind of went back to our conversation we've had over the last couple of weeks. It looks like Ethan Page is going to be wrapping up, right? And it looks like maybe potentially, I watched this last night with Joe Vernola. Shout out to Joe, my coach, my balls, and works with Russo at DCW. He was saying that he thinks that they're planting the seeds, it looks like, for the breakup at the next pay-per-view. Like Josh Alexander's going to interfere with Ethan Page's match, or Ethan Page is going to interfere, thus setting up the match that leads to the breakup if Ethan Page is exiting.
I don't disagree. Yeah. I don't disagree. When I saw this is man, I've seen this so many times in professional wrestling. Like, how many times have you seen this? Like over and over again, no matter what company, no matter what era, it's the same shit. You got a tag team, and one of the members of the tag team has their own agenda. The other guy, whatever. And little by little, they start doing things to annoy each other. They've been on the road too long. They've smelled each other's farts way too much. You know what I'm saying, Ben? I'm sure you absolutely. Oh wow!
Here in San Francisco, we're just a little bit more progressive.
Is that the sound you make, Ben, when you're smelling somebody's farts in the
No,
car?
I do the farts. I don't.
Okay, that's cool.
San Francisco thing, sorry.
But it's cool, man. West Coast represent.
Treat.
But let me but oh my God, I'm losing my train of thought. So these guys are definitely gonna break up, man. I do agree with you, man. I think that Ethan Page is 1 foot out the door. He'll do good business for Josh Alexander, who looks even better than he did a couple of weeks ago. Like, I don't know what he's doing. The guy looks so strong. I was looking at him and I said, shit, man, this guy could be, and don't get offended by this, Impact fans, he could be a poor man's Kurt Angle if you book him right. I don't know if he has the charisma. I don't know if he has he doesn't have the on-screen look facially to maybe be that, but he looks like he can be a fucking killer, man. He looks like a killer. He is a killer.
Well, yeah, he absolutely is that, and that's kind of the issue and the problem, I think. And sure, tag teams break up, bands break up. That's what they do. But the reason it worked is because he's a silent killer, and Ethan Page is the charisma. Now Ethan Page can get over being the charisma solo, but now he's got to get over his Ethan Page solo. I think there was a lot more money in the North in that quiet guy, loud guy dynamic, and both of them should go to NXT and come in as the North and be the Canadian tag team. You could even do something with Bobby Roode down the road if you wanted with them, and do all that Team Canada shit all over again in a new way. But I think Ethan Page is going his own separate way. He'll get over, and he's worked his ass off to get in incredible shape. And, he's WWE trained and camera ready already. So will he end up going to NXT and just becoming kind of another guy, and they'll give him a new name? Probably won't be Ethan Page. Probably won't be doing any of the Canada shit. Will be just a wise ass heel that he really is most of the time, and can do that with his eyes closed. But to me, I think there was more money in the North and having them make an exit together. And unfortunately, we've seen this with the Rascals too. 2 of the Rascals signed with NXT, and the other ones in between waiting to see which way to go instead of all coming in as a group.
Actually, I heard somebody had told me yesterday that there's a rumor going around he's making his way down to Atlanta, so that he portrayed potentially of going to AEW. So that's Atlanta, Georgia, down to QT Marshall's thing to get ready for AEW. That's what I heard yesterday.
I mean, but isn't that a huge mistake, man?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Those guys now got to get over on their own. When they had the chemistry, they are established. The underground already knows them. Let's go. Do not pass go. Go to go back and start all over again, dude. Like, I just don't think that's the best strategy for either of those teams or any of those guys. Can they all get over individually? Yeah. Do we have way more work to do now? Yes, when we do it that way. I don't think that's good.
Big Ray Darren 1226 says that Alexander needs a good singles push when Page bails. Would you like to see that, or do you want to see him maybe lined up with another team?
Does he have the charisma to get over? So that, to me, I agree. If he's going to stay there in Impact, you got to get him over. And he can wrestle, and he's badass. I might get him a new partner, to be honest with you. Like, I think he's better. I would look for somebody with charisma to be the mouthpiece to fill in. I think you could find somebody. Otherwise, he's going to be your Dean Malenko guy on the show. And I love Dean Malenko matches. But in the locker room, guys kind of shit on him because he couldn't get over with character being that stone ice cold killer. But I like that shit. So that means his spot on the show as a singles wrestler is to just put his head down and give you 10 to 12 minutes of awesome wrestling. And I think he could, man. I would love to see like him versus Tyson Dukes and guys like that who are Canadian legends, him versus Cody Deaner in some shit. He could definitely get over and give guys awesome fucking matches. And maybe he does have charisma that we haven't seen yet. And he's just playing the quiet guy. But I think he's kind of got the Lance Storm, you know what I mean? Stoic. Like, that's just kind of how he is, possibly naturally.
Look at 3XL. What's the smaller guy's name?
Larry D.
Like, who knew that guy was so multifaceted until he was given the opportunity to show all these sides of his character?
Circumstance, right.
So you're right, Ben. As soon as you said that, boom, it kicked in. Who knows? Who knows if Josh Alexander has that in him? Maybe he does have character. Maybe the guy is a very good talker. Maybe he's an excellent talker. We don't know yet, man. If this guy, with the way he looks and how he wrestles, if he can fucking talk just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? If he can, come off convincing, dude, Impact could build around this guy. He's a big dude. I really like him a lot. I agree with you though. I think there was more money in the tag team. I hope they don't put him in some weird mixed tag team with somebody that doesn't make any sense. Like put him in with Falaba out of the blue and shit, and make it the comedy angle.
Well, you could do that. You could do that for a whole set of tapings. He's looking for a new tag partner, and you know who he's going to go with at the end, but you do the misfit ones and where he can even walk out on a guy and be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? And you think something's going to work. Maybe him and Moose win something together, and then Moose heals on him at the end. So he's still looking for it. You could use that and do that as serving business for a couple weeks until you get him with the guy. Maybe you want to bring in somebody new 6 weeks down the road where he's like, there's nobody. I've been through this locker room. Nobody is worthy of being my new tag partner. So I went out and got one, and he brings in X.
Matt, let me ask you a question. Who would you do the whole thing where he wrestles somebody and wrestles somebody and wrestles somebody until he earns that person's respect and that person becomes his tag team, like develop some type of storyline or like respect between
All
them
right.
or something like that?
I got it. Matt, I'll come right back to you. I just got to answer this. Frank says, don't we have a ton of guys that can wrestle and don't seem to be drawing? No, we don't. We have a bunch of people who are spot fest, get your shit in, no sell motherfuckers, and they're not drawing. Josh Alexander is a mat-based wrestler who doesn't need to go outside the ring, doesn't need to do high spots. He can wrestle just like Serena, just like Dean Malenko, and stand out on the show over everybody else. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, to answer your question, Big Ray, I like that idea actually because it feel like that they were setting this two of a breakup between the Deaners, and I kind of feel like that Cody Deaner and a Josh Alexander together. I think that would be a pretty good pairing. They're both from Canada, and Cody knows how to talk, and he looks good, so he would pair well, I think, off with Josh Alexander. So Josh and Cody Deaner right now is kind of doing that type of storyline. It looks like where he wants respect, right? Give me my respect, don't disrespect me. So if you did give him a respect versus respect kind of match between him and Josh Alexander, with them then ultimately being a team, I think that would work, right? I think it'd be cool, something like that.
I don't know why he'd turn on cousin Jake, but I did see that in there and them setting it up. But I would want, not that I wouldn't want Josh Alexander on my team either, but if you got to neutralize that big fucker, the new TA Magnum, Joel Fuller there, you might need two guys, you know what I mean? So maybe you put all three of them together as dudes who are like, fuck you, because Eric Young could fuck with Josh Alexander, and that would drive them together to overcome Eric Young and that guy. I think that would work.
I'll tell you right now why the Deaners aren't going to work out, because one Deaner wants to prove that he can do it by himself, and the other one doesn't necessarily have the faith in him to do so. So boom, right then and there, it's a friendship that what's the most important thing in a relationship, a friendship, and a business? Trust. And one Deaner doesn't trust that the smaller Deaner can do it by himself.
Yeah, but that'll just end up in a loss. You know what I mean? With him banned at ringside, and I told you so, and then maybe they'll break up. But what value is there in cousin Jake by himself and Cody by himself? They're better together. There's things that just work. You know what I mean? Long term instead of a quick payoff and whatnot. So.
Would there be an argument though that cousin Jake, as we saw in Wrestle House, does have character? So I mean, if he was to do something by himself, he could probably totally handle himself as a big man. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he looks like a star. He can go, but I just don't see it. Like, that's so much work. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much meat left on the bone by breaking him up that early. Then you got to break him up. What are you gonna call him? Cousin Jake for the rest of his life? No. Now you got to call him Jake,
whatever his name is, right?
Now we got to get Jake, whatever the fuck, over from the ground up by pushing him to the moon. And some guys, who knows what's going to happen in between there? Is Brian Myers going to put him over? Where is he in the pecking order with that? See, in the audience's eyes, confusing already. As cousin Jake, he's a Deaner. We know him. We love him. We accept him. Put the tag titles on him. Fucking do like we're that way. We're already up here. Here we got to climb this mountain from the base all over again, boys. I'm not saying it can't be done. But that's like taking stunning Steve Austin, making him the ringmaster, making him Stone Cold, and going through that whole fucking thing on a hope that he'll make it to be Stone Cold one day. You know what I'm saying? Instead of hiring Flying Brian and Stunning Steve and pushing the tag team to where they should have been from the first place.
Word. Following that, Josh Matthews then came back to me once again, reminded the audience what happened last Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. We then went backstage to Chris Bay, who was talking to Moose about their take later tonight. But Moose is only really concerned about fighting as Bay is trying to talk to him. And Bay says, you should be a little bit nicer to him since, he's going to be the Impact World Champion after this weekend. And Moose goes on to say that he lets his fists do the talking. And then he'll talk to him after the weekend then to see if he's going to be the champion. Quick promo here. Mostly Bay and Moose just sitting there looking menacing.
Dude, both of these guys are fucking shredded wheat right now. Bay is in insane shape. I was like, God damn, dude. And then Moose sitting down and he stands up and you just forget how big of a human being that son of a bitch is. And he's down, shredded, and he's got those not striated muscles, but just big dinner plate sized shoulders, like just a powerhouse, thoroughbred human being. So I like this little scene. It didn't have to do much except set up two heels having to work together in the main, and they both got over with how physically imposing they both are.
I was going to say that, and we'll talk about it, later on in the main event, that I feel that Chris Bay, out of everybody on the entire show, came off the best, better than Kenny Omega.
He looked like a star with the new gear, the new pants. It looked fucking good, man. He looks like a star.
You know what? I'm going to discard what I said. I'm going to discard the red cup jokes that I did last week.
Hold on. Are you becoming a Bay believer? A Bay believer?
No, I mean, the guy is he's
a believer.
I'm a believer. Okay. Do you want to join us? Do you want to become a Bay believer?
He's an ultra talented young man who has a good look. I don't know if he has the size to be a main eventer, but
he should be Chris. He should say, "I'm Chris Bay, 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 Bay."
And he can do that. But what I will say is this: it was very.
I'm sorry not to interrupt you, but since we're talking about, you mentioned the main event. When you look at him comparison to Rich Swann, do you think Rich Swann should be a main eventer? Because they got the same. Okay, go ahead then. I'm sorry.
No, all right. So when I look at Rich Swann, I see him as an X Division champion. I don't see him as the Impact Wrestling champion. That's my humble opinion. No offense, Rich, but you don't do it for me. If Chris Bay, I see Chris Bay as I see him as a main eventer. Let me put it. I don't know if I see him as a world champion yet.
How does Shawn Michaels make you believe?
With his character, his huge persona, and that's what the kid has. That's why I can't look. I was making jokes last week about the red cup and all this other shit and the smoke. Fact is, this kid is putting in some work, and he is winning me over.
He's also got natural charisma that comes through the camera.
Absolutely, and
when the camera's on him, there's something there.
I want to see while you guys are talking. I want to see how big he is. Not that it should make a big difference because wrestling is wrestling right now.
9 inches.
Oh, you know what? Would you stop? Would you stop? You know what I'm talking about. I want to see how big he is because it doesn't matter now in wrestling. You could be 5'9" and Chris Jericho and wear lifts in your shoes and fucking
Well, it does matter because I didn't heat on the match, right? Because I don't know, I didn't whatever. But Chris Sabin in that match was terrible. That opening match. There was so much get your shit in, no sell shit that mean nothing. Go into they hit a high spot power impact kickout move, knockout move, and then they went into pin drills afterwards.
Shit,
dude. I can't tell you how incredibly wrong that is in wrestling. And these are guys that might know better, but obviously they don't. And that match just had me frustrated because they're so athletically talented. The arm drags and all that kind of shit looks so good, but the way they put stuff together and then hit each other with impactful shit that should be in the go home, they do that in the middle as falsies, and then they go into pin drill. Like Rip would be out there with a kendo stick, ringing the bell, going, "Get the fuck out of my ring! Just because you're on TV don't mean you know what you're doing." The way they put their stuff together, it kind of infuriates me because they're so talented and they still have to do egregious get your shit in stuff and no sell instead of doing the threat of violence. Set the move up and find a way to get out of it with wrestling so it's implied that you're going to hit the big thing, and then we can get to pin drills and you're still alive. If I'm hitting you with knockout blow after knockout blow, you're not going to come back on me as a technician. You need to be rocking and reeling all the way into the finish. So these guys who are put over as multi-time tag champions, to me, there's a lot of holes in their game still, even as watch them get their shit in, man. It frustrates me because they could be so much better.
By the way, Ben and Matt, Chris Bay is 5'9". He is billed at 165 pounds. He's probably maybe 185 right now. Maybe
he was looking about 180, 185 right there last night, bro.
5'9", guys. What do you think? That's his build height. So he's probably about 5'8".
He's about my size. About tall as I am, 5'9".
5'9". So I don't know, man. Shit, man. It sucks because I want this kid. I see this kid.
Dude, it's like why I asked you about Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels because of circumstance. Sure, he's great technically, and he'd be right there and give you the fight from underneath, climbing up the ropes and shit, and Bay can do some crazy athletic stuff. but it's about putting him in the circumstance as an underneath guy and believable. But right now, Bay's a heel, so you don't want to fucking believe in him, even though he's got the body, the gear, the athleticism. They got him booked as a heel because he can play it, but body, sexiness, and athleticism equal money. And that equals babyface. So, like, they've got him booked in the wrong circumstances to be a main eventer, is what I'm saying, Ray. Like, you like Shawn Michaels, yeah, because he can go, but it's because of the circumstances and the cockiness. Because a lot of times he was the heel and the cocky fucker, but he also had Sid with him. He had Diesel with him. Yeah, you know what I mean? Or DX behind him. So it's all about the way and the terms that he's booked. Anybody can be a main eventer. Rey Mysterio, absolutely. Size doesn't mean shit. And if size does mean shit too, size means you're David. What do I need?
Goliath.
David, I need Goliath. That's the story I have to tell. And while I have some Goliaths for David to face and overcome until we've gone through those, David can stay on top as champion and tell that story over and over again in new and exciting ways.
Okay.
You're not wrong, but I'm just
right.
There's reasons to set it up to make anybody champ. You know, Hornswoggle could be if it was set up the right way and make it believable. You know,
I get it. I get it.
Shout out to
Shout out to.
Go ahead.
No, I just wish he was. I just wish he was like at least 6 feet tall. Not that it should make a difference. You know what I'm saying, right?
You just hate to duck down to kiss guys. You want them to be right face to face. You hate.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know. I'm still a fan. I'm still a fan of going to wrestling events and being like, wow, look at the size of that guy. You know, pause. But I don't know. Neither here nor there.
I don't disagree. I'm a 5'9" guy. I like going to big events and seeing larger than life characters because it makes me feel small and like, oh, you're a big guy, you're a hero, right? Yeah. So I don't disagree with that. But shout out to, of course, the future stars of wrestling. They trained a whole bunch of good people. Chris Bay from Killer Cross, Disco Inferno works there. They're churning out people who are ready for television for sure.
They do.
Killer Cross.
Love Killer Cross, man.
Love that guy.
No, you're good. I could talk about Killer Cross all day. After we had this, then we got the big thing that you guys started to show off with, and that hit the internet right away. Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone appear in an ad paid for by All Elite Wrestling. They make it, of course, look very campy 90s style, if you will. Tony goes on to say that Kenny Omega won the title, was a disgrace to the title and to Jon Moxley. He said, by the way, I'm talking about Tony Khan, not Tony Schiavone. He said he could have stopped his appearance tonight, filed an injunction, but instead he's going to go ahead and fund the whole show with this ad because he thinks it's good for the bottom line of both companies. You guys alluded to, he made mention that I could just buy this company. Maybe I will. He does say he's looking forward to see what Kenny has to say tonight and is really looking forward to seeing Kenny against them tomorrow night on TNT. I'm going to let you guys break this down. I told you this last week. My microwave got stolen. There's some packages down there. I'm not going to get my shit stolen right now, so I'm going to let you guys break down this thing.
All right, go do your thing, man.
That sucks. They stole his microwave, dude?
Yeah, somebody stole some stuff from Stevie.
That's not nice.
No, it sucks. Yeah, dude. Like we said,
hey, Ben, Matt. Hold on, Matt is gone. I just wanted to throw out there that Darby Allin sucks. Go ahead.
I don't think he sucks. I just think that they, like I said, they haven't booked him the right way to get over. Like, and Sting being there is definitely the right move. We talked about that on Light the Feud.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't have signed Sting to a multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal just to be a corner man. I would have signed him for 6 appearances at $25K and that be it, and never have him say a word, which this week they're going to have him talk, which is absolutely the wrong move. So Khan is just really being a spoiled billionaire's kid and using his money to recreate WCW 95 with him in the role of Eric Bischoff for some reason. I don't know why, whether it's Bischoff has gotten to him and Bischoff is working on the TNT end as a advisor, and that's what he's trying to do to impress him that way. But this did nothing but reinforce in people's minds that Tony Khan is an awkward, nerdy wrestling fan who's on a limited budget and really doesn't have the leadership capabilities to like that. If you're soldiers, you're not going to go, that's the guy I'm following into war. You know what I mean?
Oh, not at all.
that's the guy in the back burning shit at the fucking latrine. Like that ain't the master and commander, bro. Like, I hate to say it that way, but like, and then to do that egregious spot and make it look like you are that person and think that you are, it makes you look delusional, and it makes you look like a mark for yourself. And that's the worst thing you can be in front of the boys.
And here's the thing too, man. It's not like this dude has any type of charisma or presence. He doesn't look like a leader. Like you see Eric Bischoff. Let's use Eric Bischoff as an example. Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, super good-looking guy, great voice, a lot of charisma.
Karate, martial arts.
Hello, what I'm saying? Look at Vince McMahon. All right, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon as the owner of the company. When he was calling matches where he didn't know a move, he couldn't say. He would say, "What a great maneuver!" Then you got Tony Khan, like literally, Ben. Tony Khan. I'm gonna pay for this whole show. My arms are folded.
Okay, so let's stop right there. Who do you got at Impact? What I say, the biggest worker in management, dude. D'Amore used to run with the Montreal Mob. It's no joke. Money and street guys, like real deal. And came up through wrestling, second generation. Knows the streets, knows how to work people, and is a worker, and has been at Impact since the beginning. Beginning.
Yep.
Okay. So if Khan is making jokes about buying shit out, and we know that wrestling is fucked, and they have Impact's not on the road, nobody can go to their pay-per-views, nobody's really buying their pay-per-views, no live ticket sales, that means they're hemorrhaging money. And that's why guys like Ethan Page and the Rascals got to go, because they want to go to brighter, futures. Absolutely. Greener pastures, what have you. But they have to keep a kayfabe on that and Impact, so the fans don't know that they're hurting after Ed Nornholm paid $1.8 million for Impact, and it's probably hemorrhaging $150,000 at least a month, right? So I would say at least, and without money coming in,
right?
So based on that, he's going to be looking to sell. So they're going to fluff up Khan because they know Khan's a multimillionaire money mark, invite him in to get it over. This could all be D'Amore and Callis working together to represent Nordholm to make Khan feel special about overtaking a company so they can sell it to him, so they can get out at whatever it is, 1.4 million, and take the loss of it. And then maybe get out at 3 million and sell them the whole library and just be done with it, because it's been a huge headache from the beginning, especially with Corona. And they're going to work this billionaire's kid to buy it because they know that he wants to look like a power player. Bro, that is lunch on a fucking hot platter for guys like D'Amore and shit like that. They live to serve people up like this, bro. When we say workers or workers behind the scenes, supreme workers, are like, those are the guys who get on top because they're willing to cut throats and do shady shit sometimes. And yeah, it's for the betterment of the whole company, but you're talking about a kindergartner playing with 12th graders right now, bro, like trying to play kickball with them. And they know they're just feeding them, dude, like little things to like draw him in more. And I could really see them wanting to make him feel special so they can pick his pockets and shut down Impact. I think that's what's really going down here. He knows it, but he don't care because he's a billionaire. Scott D'Amore ain't no billionaire. He started as a street hustler, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's the difference.
Scott D'Amore, again, that's the type of guy. He is true. I have people that I know that work with him, came up with him.
I respect that gangster, man. That's not
dude. It's business, man. It's business. They're gonna take this dude, and this is what fans of AEW. They're gonna take Tony for every single dime that he has. He's gonna lose a ton of money, and it is what it is. It's part of the wrestling business, and that's what they do. Dude, come on, man, come on. Anybody who doesn't think that these wrestlers, and you said this 1,000 times, aren't backstage just fucking laughing at this dude. Like, look at this.
Not until they get in the car. When he comes in the room and tries to say something important in front of JR and Snake and Arn, and they're like, yeah, all right, yeah. And then he walks out and they all go,
Oh God. Yep, they roll their eyes. Yeah. Yep, I know. Yep, they lean back in their chairs.
And nobody says shit, brother. And nobody said check's clear. You know,
Well,
that's what it is. And how long? I mean, Man Beast was in the chat earlier. If you're gonna pay Sting X amount over X amount of years, bro, you think Stinger's not going, hey Nash, hey Hall, and that Hall's kid wants to get in, and here comes Hall and Taz, and now Taz's kid, and Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn's kid, and Tessa Blanchard's probably coming for Tully, and like, you think that they're not all this old boys network of sharks isn't fucking circling you, and that Hogan and them are right around the corner?
oh Jesus, the death touch. I mean, I'm surprised that we haven't really seen. Well, actually, they said that, if you remember, they said that they would never do with the WWE. You know, take WWE talent, bring all these ex Hall of Famers.
That was a year ago that they said that.
I know. You know what's so funny, dude? And I'm not trying to shit on this company, but the fact is that Cody Rhodes said it himself. He said it himself, and this was my what really got under my skin. You can't tell me that you're not going to be like the WWE and just be like the WWE.
Why not?
But that's what I'm saying. It's gonna listen.
Here's the thing: you got work. Cody is a worker, bro.
No shit.
Dude. Cody worked himself off the back of the Bucks angle for the Bullet Club thing. So did Marty. So did Adam Cole. Okay. And then from there, they spun that into the PWG thing where he's sitting over there as a mark. And then once Khan can hang out with Cody and they can pitch this new company, they're working him the whole way along. Cody gets his $250,000 CEO fucking thing, executive vice president. Then he uses his shit that his boy from Green Lantern, Stephen Amell, because from his WWE time to get that over with Bravo. Then because he's on the thing with TNT as the top guy, he parlays that into the new talent search show that he's on so he can get more and more checks. Cody is a worker, bro. Cody, like, he knows like what he's doing. Sure, he might say, I'm going to be Triple H and then hit my Triple H entrance that's different than everybody else's. That's a rib on everybody else, bro. Like that's what it is. Say the exact opposite of what you're going to do and then go make your money. He's laughing all the way to the bank. The only thing he's not laughing about is that tattoo.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Like this segment, Tony Khan says, you know what? He's saying, I don't really have to let this happen, but I'm going to let it happen anyway, because I'm going to use this time to have your 115,000 viewers watch this commercial that I'm going to spend money on. Think about
all of those people are already watching it.
Yeah,
99% of Impact audience is watching AEW. So that was the ridiculousness of it. If you're going to have a ballsy move, I laid this out 9 months ago. You do a way better commercial than that, and you don't feature yourself. You feature the talent,
right?
Doing shoots. And then you go to every local WWE market. I would hire Matt, and Matt's job all day would be like, all right, I'm going in Texas. Here's 20 fucking stations across Texas. I got to go and get a barter deal done or a $300 placement done locally during Raw to get that commercial on. Matt would do that for a week. All right, Texas done. What's next? Massachusetts. Okay, we're done. Like, that's how you play the game that way, because you're not going to be able to get it on WWE TV any other way aside from that. But that's the covert actions that need to be taken, not self-serving, tongue-in-cheek things like that. That did nothing but bad biz for everybody in wrestling last night, dude.
Ray, did you watch the show via Twitch or did you watch it via cable?
I watched it on Twitch from work.
Okay, so if there's anybody that's in the chat room right now, if you watch it on cable, let us know. I want to know if that commercial was actually a commercial that aired or if that was during the show. Because I think it would have made more sense if they'd actually bought time, to your point, right, about a commercial versus being an in-show segment.
It's access. It's access. He didn't buy time. Like, if he did, then they got him twice, which is even more hilarious. Ed Nordholm, they own Anthem owns the goddamn channel. So they're dealing directly with them. So if they put that in as a rib or whatever, but them doing that doesn't mean shit, because there's only 160,000 people watching. So TV really don't mean fuck all compared to how that commercial is blowing up right now on the internet. That little spot has more play than anything else on Impact last night. That Tony Schiavone, Tony Khan spot is the takeaway from Impact last night.
Yo, real quick, dude. I really wanted to talk about this really quickly. Melissa Santos, I agree with you. That was a huge missed opportunity. I think that, you're going to have the biggest viewership on Twitch ever for Impact Wrestling. Why not have this? Yesterday, I typed something in, joking around with the guy saying, how come Melissa Santos isn't there in a really tight t-shirt with her nipples poking through her shirt?
Why isn't she part of the storyline with Brian Cage now at Impact, where she uses her sexuality to draw a swinger in? Swingman goes into something, and then you hear him get jumped, and Brian Cage and Team Taz come out. Why wasn't every person on Impact trying to be taken out throughout the show? Tommy Dreamer, they could have taken him out, right? Jerry Lynn and those guys could have shown up and taken him out, and Taz take out Dreamer. Like, what if Team FTW along with that while all that's going on? And that could have been our show. Instead, it was just wait till Josh Matthews gets on a bus so he can make a Lex Express joke. Brutal, Bob. Brutal.
Well, I disagree, but I don't have really anything nice to say about Melissa Santos. So let's move on. I don't want to say anything.
You don't have to fight Brian Cage too. You're gonna need like 30 guys. He does flips and shit.
Yeah, I don't want to take on Brian Cage either. I could take 20 with Shamrock, but Cage is in tip-top shape, so that's gonna be a lot more. But after that, we got our next match of the evening. After that, 80s, 90s Access Channel commercial. We get TJP versus Brian Myers. Ultimately, in this match, Myers picks up the victory here, and it looks like here we're continuing to push this maybe losing streak they're trying to create for TJP, push him down, and then try to build him back up. Kind of seems like the story they're doing there is he's lost all opportunities for the X Division Championship. Now he's lost to Brian Myers. So either we're going to get a heel turn probably from TJP down the line, or this is the way to rebuild and redeem TJP. But in regards to the match, what did you think, Ray? What were your thoughts on TJP versus Brian Myers? Maybe since you've come back to start watching Impact, have you liked the evolution of Brian Myers?
Brian Myers is okay. He's okay. TJP,
that's why Big Ray doesn't like him.
No, yeah, he can take off those colors and shove them up his ass. But TJP, I like TJP a lot. I remember when TJP came from Impact to WWE, I was so excited because I was like, "Whoa, this kid is so charismatic, and he has all this." Nope, took all the charisma, sucked it right out of the kid, and now you see what I thought I would have seen in the WWE. This is a great TJP. I don't mind them, breaking them down. We all go through slumps in life. It's a realistic storyline. We all have bad weeks, bad months, bad years. Shit happens. COVID-19, hashtag 2020. This year is hashtag 2020 for TJP. And then, then they're going to build him up. Maybe he does the whole superhero angle, where 1 minute he's TJP, the next minute he's Suicide. You know what I'm saying? You catch him in the dark, putting the mask on or something like that. You know what I mean? Who knows? All I do know is that this was a good match. I enjoyed this match. I like the build. I like the slow burn behind this storyline. I think they're going to stretch it out. It's already been taped, so it's going to be stretched out for a couple of weeks. And hopefully we get a new, revitalized, stronger TJP in 2021. Do you agree, Ben?
Yeah, I like what you're saying about wins and losses there, because people say wins and losses matter. Yeah, you're right. Losses matter in storyline far more than wins do. And this could drive him down a road of having to be reborn, reinvented. But let's see that backside of the mountain. Let's see tragedy. Let's see all the way to rock bottom. That's an interesting story. We love tales of tragedy. This match went on way too long to tell that, you know what I mean? Brian Myers looks great, best shape he's ever been in, no doubt about it, man. And I think if they were smart, I would bring in Zack Ryder and have him tagging again. Why wait on Tony Khan? Because that seemed like a buddy favor that kind of died on the vine. And for him to go back there now will look like, well, we're just hiring WWE guys to do it. Let Zack Ryder go tag with them and let them go back around the world. The Major Brothers in Japan, all that kind of shit. I think those two guys need that credibility rebuild. But TJP, The guy's just got so much talent in ring, and I like how natural he's been on the mic in the last couple of months in Impact as well, whether it's doing funny little things or, that are just like talking trash and being, well, I tried, that kind of shrug it off attitude, interesting character stuff there, but he's got years ahead of him. So
agree.
Yeah, don't disagree there. We come back from break after the match, and Cousin Jake is hyping up Cody Deaner for his match with Eric Young. Cody tells him that tonight's not about them, though. It's about him proving something to the world and to himself. And he tells Jake that no matter what happens tonight, he cannot get involved under any circumstance. Then we cut over. Do you want to talk about that? Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to am I wrong where before that happened? Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. No, continue. It's my bad because I thought the Raju thing was before that.
No, there was just good intensity, really good intensity from Diener here. And that's the thing, too, with these guys. Sometimes they have to play country comedy, and then other times they got to be stone cold serious ass whippers and act like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Tough to go back and forth. Stone Cold did a good job at it. These guys, too. I feel like Cousin Jake is a little marginalized, though. He needs to be tougher and more of a badass where – Diener's focused on Eric Young here, but it was good.
Yeah, I agree. I think Cody's really showing that intensity, really showing that he has that character, really showing that maybe in fact that he doesn't need his cousin, and
he's in awesome shape right now too. Super lean, super jacked. You know what I mean?
We were talking about that last week. That I said that he looked yoga strong. He looks fantastic, man. This is going to be fun to watch.
Probably just cut the beer out. That's probably most of it, to be honest with you. A guy like that, fucking, he's like, I'm not going to drink beer for 2 weeks, and fucking he gets shredded as fuck. You're like, okay.
Yeah. It's easy. It is easy for some guys.
Yeah, it is.
Unbelievable. Whatever.
Well, you were alluding to that, but that was the very next segment where X Division champion Rohit Raju approaches a frustrated TJP backstage, rubs some salt in the wound, reminding him that this Saturday he's holding one final open Beat Rohit challenge. It's open to anyone in the world except TJP. So a couple things I want to start. We can start here. First of all, Rohit Raju, the best X Division champion of 2020, and also the unofficial fourth member of the New Force Order podcast, which you can go back and check out. Last week's edition just dropped on Monday. Brand new episode of Mando Mania with the return of Boba Fett. So go check out that review and episode. My question is, Ray, do you think Curry Man is showing up this Saturday at Final Resolution with TJP under the mask?
Oh shit! Well, he's hot. He is spicy, and he does taste great. Shit, that would be fun.
It'll be good.
That would be good. It'll be a callback to Better Days in TNA / Impact Wrestling. That would be fun, dude. Wow, shit. Oh man, yeah.
Somebody said Manic, and Daniel Price, I think, also said Manic. He didn't say no. He said no suicide, no TJP. He didn't say Manic as well, right? I was just trying to think of different ways to get TJP in the match under a mask.
You could go completely comedy with that too, and try and do a. It costs money. But if you did that where they were trying to do the it's him under the mask and it's TJP or whatever, then you mix in more. You got to go super wrestle crap with it. Then you do the Viano spot with the swap or the twin magic and have another Curry Man come out from under the ring, but it's Falaba in a huge Curry Man outfit. And they don't know that it's fucking him, and then you switch back and TJP goes over. So it's fucking face, but you got to make a big ass Curry Man costume.
What would be even funny is that let's say that Falaba gets involved, gets the pin in the match, and the referee totally acts like he doesn't realize it's
well,
Falaba.
that's the whole thing. The ref's in on it. It's a comedy spot.
Oh,
you fucking take him out. TJP goes under the ring. Follow rolls out, comes in, hits him with it, pins him as Curry Man. Ref does whatever. You do the fucking switch before the hand raise where the ref's checking on him. He raises TJP's hand, and you never acknowledge that it was Fala as Curry Man. And one guy weighs 500 pounds, and the other one, but you do the Viano spot to make him think it's the same thing.
That is funny. That would really work.
It would get over huge, bro. It would, and like. Then what happens? Rohit's reaction, like that's fucking awesome.
Now let's flip it. Now we got an AEW versus Impact rivalry brewing here. Do they have somebody else from AEW answer the call of the Beat Bro Heat Challenge?
Now wouldn't it be funny? Speaking of Curry Man, if Curry Man does in fact, and it's Christopher Daniels,
You could do it that way too.
the Fallen Angel, and Christopher Daniels. What's a title that he's synonymous with holding in Impact Wrestling?
Oh yeah, X Division.
The X Division Championship. That would be a lot of fun.
And they could have done all that stuff and brought it back over to AEW tonight, but
we don't know. I mean, we're still here.
We'll see what happens tonight. Listen, we're gonna see what happens tonight because you know what? No matter what, Ben, you're gonna watch. I know I'm gonna watch.
It's what I do.
Yeah, Matt definitely gonna watch. We're gonna watch. We want to see what's gonna happen tonight. I want to see what's gonna happen tonight.
I don't think much, bud.
Well,
I'm excited to watch AEW for sure. After we had that revelation, of course, from Rohit, this is Saturday is going to be the final Defeat the Rohit Challenge. We went to our next match here, which was Eric Young taking on Cody Deaner. So I'm just going to quickly go over a couple things. So Cody came out swinging, backed EY into the corner with some rights and lefts. He continued to fire off some hands. Young took it to the mat, beat on him. Young continued to stop on him until he delivered a lariat, and then Cody got in for a few more bursts of offense, but quickly fell to the spike pile driver. So the winner of this match was Eric Young. And then after the match, Joe Doring got in the ring, beat up Cody Deaner. Cousin Jake wanted to get involved, but as he was instructed, he just watched on. And then Rhino came down with the lead pipe and chased off the two. Thought this was weird. The match was over. Why can't you get involved defending your best friend, your cousin? A little weird.
I told him not to.
Though, like that the match was over. He said, "Don't get involved in the match." That's what I took from it. Not don't get involved.
I agree with you. That's match. Even when he came in and tried to glom him, it was like tank, and then like he fed for him and got Jake up. It looked phony. You know what I mean? Like cousin Jake's too big and he's too much of a badass, but he played kind of pussy this episode in the pre-tape and in the post-match. I agree with you. I wanted to see him come in and wreck shop because what we want to see is Fuller versus cousin Jake next week. Cousin Jake should have, while they're doing it, buffaloed him and got him the fuck out of there. And they powdered where it's not. Joel Fuller's fucked up and went out, but him and Eric Young got their heat, and then they got buffaloed out by Big Man and put over the Big Man. Why not? Because then we want to see those two fucking lock horns, but we didn't kind of get that moment to set that up.
I legit think Rhino found that pipe in the back for real. That wasn't a gimmick pipe. That was like something off a toilet.
You're not gonna hit nobody with it. What are you worried about?
But no, dude. Yeah, Joe Doring. I know, Ben, you were saying that he should do some push-ups coming out, but that's a big sumbitch.
Joe Doring. I know I call him Joe Fuller. That was a kid I went to elementary school with.
Joe Fuller?
Little kid with asthma. But Joe Doring, is that his name? Joel Fuller?
Yeah, Joe Doring. I'm over here like, who the fuck is Joe Fuller?
Joe was like, maybe that's his shoot name. He knew something more than I did. No.
Right. Yeah, I'm like,
calling him Joel Fuller from now on.
Fucking go with Joe Fuller. Listen, the segment did what it was supposed to do. I guess.
It did. Yeah. And I'll tell you what was really great about this. Mm-hmm. Fast. Beat them quick. The heat was there. We didn't need to do a ton of other shit. And that's where both Eric Young and Cody Deaner, when they're putting their stuff together, are way smart. That's where they're locker room generals, bro. I would go to them with my shit and be like, hey, do I need this, or should I strip it down, or should I fatten something up there? Mondo's fucking awesome at it too. Those three guys are pros. Like that's why that happened in 3 minutes, and we're in and we're out, and it worked so well because the business was what the post-match beatdown to set shit up. So who gives a fuck about what's going to happen? They're only going to remember the pile driver anyway.
Ben, speaking of pile driver, I was going to ask you, why is the pile driver banned? Why?
Owen and
WWE. Why is that? It's such a
Owen and Austin.
Yeah.
Well, that was a tombstone type pile driver, wasn't it?
They just stopped doing it. I mean, Taker can do his, but like guys started doing like the crazy fucking jumping sit out ones and shit. Mike Awesome and them. It wasn't like back in the day when fucking
Paul Orndorff
would hit you with the sit back one. Earl Lawler would hit you with the super clean one. Once it started getting into like spinning Michinoku driver fucking shit, they're like, nah, fuck that. And they shouldn't be. Like, people should go back to old school and just sell an old school. And even this week on Raw, fucking Dana Brooke, I think it was, went over on Mia Yim with the fucking, she hits her up for a Death Valley driver and then spins her into a fucking Michinoku driver. I go, 1, 2, kick out. No, 1, 2, 3. I go, okay, now the Michinoku driver, which has been nothing more than a transition move for the last 5 fucking years because nobody wanted to sell it, is now a finisher. So now you're interrupting your matches based off of, we're going to start getting finishers over again, which that a Michinoku driver would be enough to beat me. Fuck yeah. But usually in a women's WWE match, kick out on 2, but now they're selling for it. So
Big Ray, you asked a good question, and I want to follow up on this because you were talking about the pile driver being banned. Ben and Big Ray jump in here too. Do you think that's a reflection of the society of new crop of wrestlers because they saw these jumping pile drivers in SmackDown games, and then they went out and they wanted to do these same things? Do you think the video game correlation of the new generation might have something to do with that
100%,
move?
100%. But here's the thing. Pile driver is banned. What should I do?
Pile driver.
Not in the match, but when?
When the referee's back is turned, or
no, after the match. I fucking beat a guy with it. It's fucking that, and I fucking give him an illegal ban move. That's banned. You can't do that here. I'll fucking find you. It wasn't in the match. Yeah, but you can't. Well, you didn't say that. It says on the contract, no pile drivers in the match. Right? The fucking, like, all the ways to get out of it as a heel. And then you have a non-sanctioned match. You have a pile driver versus pile driver match. You have all that. You pile drive somebody who shouldn't be, and their neck's all fucked up. You pile drive a bitch. Somebody's fucking, you know what I mean? Weeks of heat on the pile driver until somebody gives me a pile driver off the steps through the fucking table, and I'm dead now.
Could you imagine the impact, no pun intended, if somebody in WWE took Danny O'Brien and pile drove him on the stage? Like they did it with Alex Shelley, and he fucking just had a neck brace on and was off TV. That's as much as I got out of it. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. They leave so much meat on the bone. Yeah, I'm hungry too, speaking of meat.
Yeah, me too. I'm starving.
First of all, don't tell me what to do.
Okay, Jesus, girls.
Jesus, stop.
These bitches.
Hashtag PMS. Don't forget. When's that podcast is up, right?
Yeah, WPMS is up now, man. New episode.
Yeah, I downloaded it. Very cool. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. All right.
Sorry, I was muted. I was going to say, speaking of podcasts, Heat on Me, War on Morons was not posted yesterday. My bad. It'll be up after the show's up. It'll be up on Hamin.
Oh, my God.
Well, Jay hit me up, so I just wanted to apologize. Jay,
you're on YouTube, too. I like watching them on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we put the episode, the new episode, I drop it on Tuesday, and then we'll usually put it on YouTube later in the week because they have a YouTube as well. So
watch hours are up at Hamin Media Group. Thanks to everybody checking out everything they got going on there. Thanks to Matt, Man Beast, Ray, everybody doing micro content, Colin, Javid, all that shit, man. Trying to grow that YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe.
Following that, you guys alluded to it earlier at the top of the show. Scott D'Amore and Tommy Dreamer are shown backstage talking. Dreamer is concerned about Kenny Omega and Don Callis being here tonight and what it does to the locker room. Says that they can't trust Don. He, of course, alludes to the fact that he's been through a similar situation before where the larger company comes in to help, as you mentioned, a la ECW.
Oh, wow.
D'Amore then, of course, concurs back by saying that the hottest wrestler in the world and AEW World Champion is in their parking lot, and they're going to be appearing on their show tonight. That's all that matters. And he insists this is a good thing and tells Tommy to shut up and go sell T-shirts. So kind of a little bit of Scott D'Amore being a mark here for AEW. Did you want to, I know you guys talked about it a little bit, but do you have any other final thoughts on this segment, Ben?
I don't know if it's in being a mark for AEW. It's more of being a ringmaster of the numbers are up. That's all that matters. Shut up and keep going. You know what I mean? And that's what's important instead of the boys. I think that's a good thing because Tommy Dreamer's of the boys, and so is D'Amore supposed to be, but he's looking at a bigger picture for the sale. So I like this little scene. And dude, D'Amore is just, he's a worker, and he's not trying to go into scene stealing, but his scene work is the best on the show. He really is the best management character in all of wrestling right now, more than Pierce, Buck, or Khan. It's Scott D'Amore.
He's the most realistic.
Yeah.
Big Ray, you look sexy in that hoodie.
It's cold. It's cold in here. My hot
I know,
Asian.
but look at you. That's Stevie Richards Fitness. You're looking good in that hoodie, buddy.
My hot Asian landlord's not turning the heat on again. Serious. My hot Asian landlord, by the way, is a 75-year-old man.
That's what I was laughing.
He's hot. He's hot. This was cool, man. Thank you.
In his apartment, he's keeping it for himself. That's
Son of a bitch. That's what it is. Oh, I like it so hot. Anywho, yeah, I agree with you, man. Scott D'Amore is just a great management character. But here's the thing: Scott D'Amore's character isn't a character. It's probably what you see.
No,
hold on. Listen. It's probably what you see turned up a little bit. And why am I talking like Gimmick Jones?
No, Scott D'Amore. I mean, I've hung out with him 3 or 4 times now, and sure, he's fast talking sometimes, but he's just a worker's worker.
Yeah.
When he does the things like on camera with Deanna, or with Rohit, where I like when he gets amped up. Well, sure, yeah, he agrees with them what they were gonna do, like what their bitch was, and then he books him into a match, and he flips out like it's his day's been ruined, but he's doing somebody a favor. And he's like, that's a fun little game. I don't know if he needed to throw the papers at the end of the last one.
I loved it,
but yeah, it was a good choice and for him to go off. But he takes him up that, so it leaves even heels kind of breathless of like, what the fuck just happened there? How do we get fucked out of that one? Like, it gives him a chance to react based off his overreaction as he builds it. That's not an easy game to play, and it's a very veteran move. I like it.
Actually, what I was getting at, Ben, was that he plays a manager well. Like anyone who's worked any type of retail or worked for any managers, this is what a manager is. You know what I'm saying? And he plays that role very, very well. Like, it's very accurate. It's very real, very realistic, very realistic. I can see a manager. I've worked with managers that they know what they're doing. They're smart, but they lose it every once in a while. Like anyone. I just like the way he's you're right. I agree. He's the best on-screen authority figure in wrestling.
Stuff with Heath, this scene with Heath in the office was probably the best work he's ever done. I've ever seen on camera.
Oh yes,
it's really good.
Hey, where is Heath?
I think he's just chilling, man.
Injured.
And by the way,
bad inguinal hernia.
Did we see Johnny Swinger this week?
No swing man this week.
I have a problem with that, guys.
I mean, the whole story of Johnny Bravo and all that got sidelines this week. That's what I'm saying. This was a chopped show. So that's why when I went back and say, did they think of a 6-week storyline? No, they chopped some segments from a show and they fit in the other shit to do that. That this stuff was thought about 2 weeks ago and not in a big 8-week story arc. But we'll see. Go ahead, MS.
Speaking of Heath Slater, that's good. It was a good call out there, Big Ray. There was he did an interview this last week. I think it was with Chris Van Vliet or one of those guys, and he was talking about his injury and his time in Impact, and he mentioned something that kind of caught my interest. Ben, he said, I got all the way up to 250, and then he got injured. So my question is, Heath Slater puts on 15, 20 pounds. Then goes back into the wrestling ring and wrestled like he was still 20 pounds lighter. Is that a cause, or it could be a catalyst for someone getting injured like a Heath Slater? I mean, he's not seeing it. Basically, in the interview, he's not putting it together like, oh, I put on 20 pounds of extra muscle. I wonder why I got injured. But am I wrong?
He's working. He knows why, bro. When you do gas and you put on 20 pounds of muscle and your tendons and don't grow at the same rate that they would naturally, that's why these things happen. That's why when Kevin Nash does a jump over and lands and it blows his quad out, or when Vince blows both of his quads out on the fucking way to the ring, or Triple H does it by just setting his leg down, it's because he's put on 10 pounds of muscle mass on that leg in a 6 to 12 week period because of HGH and whatever B12, Sustanol, Winstrol, Deca, D-Ball, whatever the fuck they're on this week, Androstine. Yeah, all of them. And then your tendons are going to be able to support that. him in his what a inguinal hernia is right above your cock and your groin in the very top part there. It's separated like that, and then your intestines come through it, and down he went. Here, you pretty much rip a hole through your muscle because there was too much muscle mass there that wasn't grown naturally, and your body just can't support that when you're trying to do extended flying high kicks, and you just go a little way, whoosh, tear, bro, and it's all over at that point. So, you know, it ain't about
to make sure I wasn't like not reading it into it correctly, or what do you know what I mean?
It's not about being 250 and working like you're 200. It's just about working smart. And also, here's a side effect of steroids. Yeah, you're going to look good, but are they physically functional? Have you built the muscle the right way to do that, or is it just for the vision of it? And then when you're going to use it for what it needs to be done, you overexert in a way that you're naturally used to. Well, the physics don't line up that way. So do steroids, get fucking jacked, get hurt. That's usually a side effect of it, bro.
Or do steroids, get jacked, don't get hurt, don't do anything.
Well, work hard. If you're gonna fucking do it and be jacked, he's not a super jacked guy, but a guy like Brian Cage, who's obviously doesn't pass the eye test. What should Brian Cage be doing? Picking guys up and doing fucking gorilla press slams, walking them around the ring, showing how strong he is, and fucking throwing them out of the ring. Instead,
I mean, when he jumped off the cage and he gets injured, that's he shouldn't do that.
Well, that might not be because of gas. That's because of probably a stupid spot and possibly gas that will take more time to fucking, do that. Usually most guys who are on gas heavy, it's a bicep tear or a shoulder tear from everybody I've seen and known. So, and then WWE, it seems to be legs for some reason, but this is another factor of it. And whatever, man, do whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to pass any judgment on him. The guy's trying to make money, look good, and be a star after his WWE career. He's doing what he thought was necessary. Unfortunately, karma raises its ugly fucking head and strikes you down.
Yo, I agree with everything Ben's saying. I don't know if I told you guys the other day, I got into an argument with two people in front of my building. I was, the building that I work in. And what I did was I went to the first floor. I put a trash can over my head and jumped on him.
Yeah, you jump right out of that. That's a good
that'll fucking
they
teach
don't know it's you. That when you they're like, who was that? I don't know. He had a trash can on his head.
That fucking taught him a lesson. Anywho, yeah, I agree with everything Ben said.
Yep.
Christmas COVID, guys, put on a mask. They can't see what you're doing. Time to cause some mischief.
Yeah. Put the garbage can. Just walk around the city with a garbage can. What's going to happen to you?
Go on my Instagram. You can see I'm ready for Christmas COVID. Knockouts tag team tournament match was next. Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly taking on Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie as part of this tournament. In this match itself, shockingly, I did not expect to see Deonna Purrazzo lose, but unfortunately, Rosemary Spirit, the champion, sent her out of the ring, and then there was a double underhook driver onto Kimberly, and Rosemary and Valerie picked up the victory. So semifinals are now going to be set with Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie going to face off against Hogan and Tasha Steelz. While on the other side of the bracket, we're going to see Jazz and Jordan Grace taking on Havoc and Nevaeh. Havoc. I just
Havoc. I was like, that's a good interesting name. Havoc.
Nice tag team name.
Thank you. Big Ray, what did you think of this match between the girls?
Do you really want me to give you my honest opinion?
Okay, before you do, I will say, for those who think that Deonna Purrazzo has put on maybe a little pounds, I did see it. I still think she looks fine, though. Okay, go ahead.
I think she actually took off a little this week, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think she saw how it was because she posted some Twitter stuff. And she's been working hard, man. I mean, that gear is not forgiving. But I was also thinking, I like the color gear that Taya had on too. I was like, damn, she should have got that gear made in like purple, red, black, like a bunch, because that's a very unique style. I think that mixing that nude, because they all wear the nude tights underneath anyway for the illusion. So mixing it right into the gear was a very cool, man. Like it's sexy, but not in a slutty way. You know what I mean? Like you kind of want to keep your honor. Yeah. I never know about that bedazzled shit though. I always feel like, man, if I was to catch a fucking enziguri or something like that, would just scrape the shit out of your neck or something. But I haven't seen that from anybody. But it always looks like to me like, oh, I wouldn't want to catch one of those across the fucking forehead or something.
Fired up, Ray. What do you have to say?
Well, I've never been in a boxing match or where my opponent had bedazzled gloves, so I never experienced that. But neither here nor there. Bro, Kimberly looked like shit. in my opinion, during this match. Sorry, guys.
Her work or her gear?
Well, I'm just saying in general. I feel bad saying this because I like Kimberly. She looked really gassed. She was moving slow this week. And again, I'm watching this with a very, because I want Impact to put their best, and this, in my opinion, wasn't their best. This match wasn't their best, and it had nothing to do with Rosemary. I think Rosemary had a very good match. I think Rosemary came off looking great. I think Deonna Purrazzo, by the way, Deonna Purrazzo wearing the higher waisted, gear, which hides her belly, from hanging over. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I said this last week. I'll say it again. Deonna Purrazzo, for TV, she doesn't look like what I think a champion should when it comes to physically, my opinion. But dude, she's gorgeous, super sexy, like beautiful. Like, go to her Instagram. She is fine. Kimberly.
Then why don't you believe she has what it takes to be a champion? Because I disagree. I think she's got all.
You know what it is? Okay. Let me just tell you. So there's something distracting, and who am I to talk? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna take my shirt off, and it takes a hell of a person to go on national television with hundreds of thousands of people watching to be half naked and roll and
well, that's what you signed up for. So I get
got it. But there's also something when Deonna turns around and she's like, she's getting tired and her belly looks like it's sticking out and literally jiggling and hanging over.
I'm with you, bro. And I'm with you on Kimberly too. And that's like, you can't apply the confines of a man talking about a woman. You have to, we're looking at it like when they have Vegas showgirls,
right?
They
or like
every week. They, like that Ace Rothstein shit. If you're going to be on TV, you can't be looking less than of what we want you to be like. And if we tell you to lose 10 pounds, you better be in the fucking sweatsuit losing it to make sure you look a certain way, because this is a coveted spot. Anybody can be you. So you better be the best you can be and not be comfortable. And I agree with Candice LeRae. She needs to, her cardio wasn't there. And dude, when I fought fucking Kimberly, I always get them mixed up. Candice LeRae, Kimberly.
You got injured though too, bro.
When I fought, when I worked Muhammad Hassan, that was a big moment. I looked like shit. I was way overweight, and I saw that, and I was embarrassed, bro. And that's on an indie show, and that's when I go, fuck this. And I dropped another 40 pounds from Stevie Richards Fitness, and still keep trying to go down the road, But if she's on TV on a national level with AEW and getting a shot, and she sees that, I agree, Ray. She needs to be full on cardio. So next time she's on TV, people go, wow, she's getting in better shape, and they'll get behind her that way. And it's like we say, it's not like, ooh, I wouldn't smash because she looks one way or the other.
I wish.
This is through the lens of what I want on my TV show as a director and a producer. And if I see somebody who looks like they're comfortable, well, either step your game up now or else we'll find somebody else, because these spots are coveted.
And also, it has to do with the character she's portraying. Do you have to understand? Like Rosemary,
it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit alongside Deonna. She needs to have gear that's similar to Deonna's, not this Tinkerbell stuff.
Well, I was gonna say Rosemary could gain a few pounds. Doesn't matter. She's a freaking demon from, she probably ate a couple of fucking people down in hell, so that makes sense. It's fine. She can gain and lose weight. Doesn't really take away from her character. But when you're Deonna Purrazzo, you're supposed to be this I'm better than you, super athlete that's a champion. Now you look at Taya Valkyrie and you have them stand side by side. Who looks like a champion? Who looks like a girl who, you know what I'm saying? So a girl that you can pretty much pick up.
But you're not wrong. You got two younger indie girls, shimmer shine level, versus the top of the crop, Taya Valkyrie, power lifter, beautiful Marilyn Monroe, and married to a star. And whenever I see Taya, I'm just like, why? And then to watch Morrison this week on Raw and see that Taya's on Impact and have them not be together, and that's what Morrison has to do.
Sucks.
My God, bro, we're leaving millions of dollars on the table here. What is the fucking issue with bringing Taya Valkyrie in right now and putting her with Morrison? That's exactly what needs to happen. And Taya was getting a little thick too. And you saw her last night, back in shape, working her ass off, man. So I didn't mind this match. There was some botches and some whatever, but I think the finish was right. I think based on the setup of D'Amore that Rosemary should have gone over here.
Agreed.
The thing I hated the most, they were going in it and the back and forth was good. They square off to do the punches and the girls do the splits and they're fucking punching back. Dude, we go right from a decent TV match into the worst Berwyn's Eagles Club shine shimmer bullshit. That when I say those words, that type of dog shit is what I'm talking about. And agenting wise, I would ream them when they came back through. I would say you're never doing that spot in my ring ever again. And if you do, it's a $500 fine.
Not only that, but Kimberly was so like I said, I watched this twice last night. I watched it live and then I watched the replay because they have, if you go to Impact Wrestling on YouTube, they have the whole show. They put up the whole show. And Kimberly was just like, oh, it's just like it looks so bad when they're throwing punches in the splits and they couldn't really hold it.
I've been there. Let me blow you up in the ring for 8 minutes. I know you can work out and do Stevie shit. Wait till you're in front of a crowd for 4 minutes and your tongue's hanging out to your knees. And then you go, what's next? Oh shit. Oh, I'm going to powder for 10 seconds. Then you roll back in and then the split spot comes and you got to try and throw working punches in a split. I can see where they get fucked up. There's so much chance there to make it look shitty. Why do it? You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. But I would love to see you blown up in the ring, mouth frothing, and you fucking going, what's next? What's next?
Oh, thank you.
Scoop, slam, sell away.
Probably land on my head.
We moved on from there. Backstage, Tennille Dashwood and Caleb, or with a K, approach Alicia Edwards about turning her into an influencer. Alicia tells him that to get lost, she doesn't have time for their crap tonight, reminding them that her husband had his face smashed in with a baseball bat. Did I miss something here? Did it sound like to me they kicked her out of the group? Like she's no part of their tag team?
They did.
Okay. They
did. They said, you know what? You're no longer part of this group, basically. Group. And yeah, so she's like, I don't have time for this anyway. So she no sold it, just left.
That's a good detail to tie it up instead of just letting it go. You know what I mean? WWE just be like, well, fuck that business. We're going over here. Even if this was a little ending scene to split them, at least they paid attention to detail.
Yep.
Yeah, there wasn't really much more exciting about that backstage promo. So after that, we then got Deonna Purrazzo harassing Scott D'Amore backstage, complaining about having to juggle so many things. And then this is where you were talking about D'Amore sarcastically saying that now that she's lost the Knockouts tag team tournament, she can focus on being the greatest knockout champ ever.
Yeah.
And she did that this weekend by defending the Knockouts title against Rosemary. And then, she threw the papers. He threw the papers. You know what I thought would have been funny? And I know this might have been to SJW to do it, but you know how on Being the Elite, which I know you guys aren't watching it, but on Being the Elite, Brody Lee likes to throw the paper. Yeah, I wanted to see him.
That's what I think it was, maybe even a reference to, but they didn't throw it in their face. And it's another rib on Vince McMahon because that's what McMahon did to somebody. So, like
I wanted to see him tuck the papers maybe into Kimberly's face. I thought that would
have been phenomenal. That'd been great.
That was a lot of papers.
There was a lot of papers. A lot of papers.
Too many papers.
Doing a lot of printing over there. Nobody emails anything and checks their phone. They're just straight print over there at Impact. That's probably why they're losing money. All this fucking paper overhead in the
trail.
Dude, do you know how expensive ink is?
It ain't cheap.
$30 a little cartridge. It's ridiculous.
Oof.
That's for the name. That's not even. That's just for knockoff brand. After that, we get Eddie Edwards returning. Sami Callihan comes out of the ring, calls himself the most must-see wrestler on the planet, best on the mic, the best wrestler in the ring, claims he dug Impact out of the trenches and made it a company it is today, and Impact needs him a lot more than he needs them. Sami says the moment he nearly killed Eddie Edwards with a baseball bat was what set TNA on fire. Covered by TMZ and all dirt sheets, he rolls footage of the original spot. They cut from it, which I don't know why they cut from it and didn't show it. You can look up that spot anywhere. But from last year, the spot from 2 weeks ago where he did the same thing. Sami says Eddie doesn't learn from his mistakes and he's going to keep doing this until he forces him out of the business one way or another. Alicia comes out, interrupts Sami, and then Sami yells at her to stop, says, if you get in the ring, I'm going to pile drive you. And then she says, I didn't come out alone. And then Eddie attacks him from behind. I mean, this wasn't bad. I'm just not interested in this. I've already seen Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards. I've been watching Impact.
And if I may, there's a reason why they're doing this again, because there are a lot of people that didn't see it, because not a lot of people watch Impact Wrestling. Some people may not even know that this happened. So guess what this is? This is a rehash of an old story that was amazingly popular for the new AEW crowd. That's all this is. That's what I think this is. What do you think, Ben?
I can't disagree. It worked, and they didn't. This is if a moment of creative has nothing for you. Well, I guess the thing to fall back on is Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. Not the worst choice. I think we could have a better catalyst in getting into it, but Alicia did good in this scene to set it up and have the run in. And for a show don't tell finish, Sammy's fucking phenomenal on the mic as always, even if he gets modern stuff in along with references like roll that beautiful bean footage. That shit always pops me. That separates him from everybody else, man. You know what I mean? Those little natural references. So I like this scene, but you're right on that, Ray, and what they need to do. What would you guys come up with for new business for Sami Callihan? I think he could fit into the AEW storyline very well along those lines. And if anything, I would have liked to seen a brawl break down, which made Eddie and Sami have to align in order to protect the Impact brand.
I want to see crazy versus crazy, Matt.
I don't want to see Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan near each other. I want to see the Sami Callihan, Ken Shamrock stuff. I was liking that.
Yeah.
That's more of what I want to see. I want to see them break down and fight. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I agree with you.
What I was thinking was, you know how Sami Callihan pretty much wants to take over the world or the Impact world all the time. He's always doing crazy shit. Who else who else wants to take over the world? Who's been cut?
Pinky in the brain.
No. Which wrestler right now got in the ring and said, "This is my world"?
Moose.
No, not Moose. Are you joking with me?
No, Eric Young.
Okay, Eric Young. Thank you. You got me scared. So could you imagine like a supervillain versus supervillain? Why not?
Well, sometimes you need the bigger villain needs to defeat the the hero, and then the hero needs to recruit a villain to go get the devil and take that dragon down. He has to go find another dragon to kill the other dragon. So that's the story needs to be told. Yeah.
What bothers me is it seems like they've already dropped the hacker gimmick with Sami. Like he's not even doing the hacker gimmick anymore. And I thought that was really fucking cool too.
Same with Ali.
Where's his monster? Where's Sammy's monster?
Suspended. He said it in the promo.
By the way, you had brought up something I thought was interesting. I think you had brought up during one of the watch-alongs, Ray, that we should bring the Chris brothers on, but isn't one of them still in hot water right now?
Yeah, they're not touching anybody with a Me Too movement thing.
Gotcha. But that would be good if we could get them on some point.
I agree.
But after that,
What about Madman Fulton?
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, with Ace Austin? He's with Ace Austin right now. That's his new kid.
Where the fuck was Ace Austin?
what I'm saying is that Sami can bring back Madman Fulton. You got freaking Eric Young with Joe Doring. I mean, you have Mastermind versus Mastermind. You have freaking huge heel versus huge heel. Who's gonna really take over the Impact world?
What does that tell you, though? Let me tell you.
Then Batman eventually swoops in, or Superman, or whoever the baby face is, and takes out and you make somebody off of who defeats the guy who, the winner between the two most evil characters in Impact Wrestling.
Sounds wonderful. That sounds all beautiful. Now we're missing Madman Fulton. We're missing Ace Austin. We're missing Falaba. We're missing.
What do you do?
All these guys, right? So what does that tell you, management wise? Forget about creative.
Money.
There isn't a lot of it, and they're sinking in their last days, and there's guys leaving and jumping ship. That means they're going to get ready to sell, and guys are on a per performance basis. And when they don't need you for TV, they don't have to pay you, so they're not under contract. So a lot of those guys that you're not seeing were never contracted wrestlers. They were getting their 250 to 500 indie shots, and when they don't have something for them, it's just easy to not call them.
Let me bring in this up then, because Ted mentioned it earlier in the chat room. He said he thinks it would be cool if AEW were to just purchase Impact and it became they kept the brand up versus making it a developmental, like basically keeping Impact alive to create that rivalry between the two brands. And you're talking about money, potentially being bought out. Is that something?
Why spend the money to run two fucking things when you can just buy their library, take their top
second hour? They want that second hour of TV they've been talking about. That you've already got it then, right?
But you don't do that. You just absorb their assets and then do it yourself in-house. Like, it costs you way more to keep both open than it would to absorb them, buy their tape library, and take their top talent and make your second show using that.
I mean, I don't disagree. I just don't think he cares about spending money right now, right?
I think anytime that daddy wants to go, enough is enough. The experiment's over with.
I really wanted to see Impact as a SmackDown show. That's what I wanted to see it. Like if AEW did buy it, just keep Demore in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like don't change anything.
And actually have a brand rivalry, some sort of brand rivalry.
I don't think bringing Demore in to run AEW, don't call it dark, call it something else, and being a secondary brand that absorbs Impact and has all that. I don't think that's a mistake.
Yeah, but I don't think it should be. The AEW dark should go away, and the Impact should be their second brand, their SmackDown.
AEW Impact.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I think you were saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, but it's got to be run under AEW, not as Impact entity, because that's way too much money and overhead to run. Of course.
I apologize if I wasn't being clear. That's what I think Ted was saying too. Is AEW buys Impact, keeps the name brand recognition alive.
Who the fuck did he ever beat? He don't know nothing.
Well, he beat Broadway, so I don't know.
Did he win or lose? And how good of a wrestler is he if it takes him 90 minutes to beat somebody? I can beat him in 6. I beat Revolver in fucking under 6 minutes before. So who's the better wrestler, me or Ted?
I'm just saying, listen to the Monday locker room where Vin's like, yeah, Ted goes Broadway. And then we get to Impact. Fuck Ted. I'm better than Ted.
I fucking beat him. I beat his tag partner in 6 minutes. Easy.
Chris Bay and Moose taking a Rishwan and Willie Mack in the main event here. Ultimately, what was it? Moose got the win here? Or no, I'm sorry, Chris Bay and Moose got, because they got the victory itself, as Bay crawled back into the ring after Moose rained down some elbow strikes on the Mac, and then Swan made the save, but Bay crawled into the ring and made the cover. So the winner of the match was Chris Bay and Moose. Any final thoughts on this match before we get into the 20-minute interview with Kenny Omega?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like I said, Chris Bay came out looking like a star. Moose is a fucking star. Mm-hmm. He's so big and strong and does everything good, man. And he's so, I don't know what it is. Like, is it possible that Moose could possibly look even more intimidating than he has before? Yes. Because now Moose is fucking serious.
He's spending some money on his gear too, bro.
Yep. Moose ain't playing, bro. Moose ain't playing. Moose and Chris Bay came off fantastic. And your AEW, your Impact Wrestling champion, Rich Swann, for me, I got to be honest with you guys. He looked like the fourth most impressive person in this ring tonight. When he walked down and he was doing the little dance, the little gimmick, and he opened up his jacket, I was like, oh shit, I forgot he was Impact champion. Think about that. For some reason, I had Moose in my mind as the Impact champion.
They've done more to get that belt over, the fake belt, than they have to get him over. And that was kind of a good slight on Swan. So he looks like a less than champion. So he's got beef. I like that little like pebble in the pond right there. You know?
Yeah. And we will hear more about that since we, at the end of the night. But anyway, Matt, you were talking about the next segment, and the next segment being the big conversation, the big interview backstage in some random bus. That's
all right, let's talk.
Okay,
let me set the stage for you here. So yes, Josh Matthews says we're just moments away from making history in the professional wrestling, and he has no idea what to expect. So he starts heading to the parking lot, and as you mentioned, there been Rich Swann tries to walk out, or it looks like Rich Swann's just trying to leave to get in his freaking vehicle.
Yeah.
And the security guard says he's not allowed to get through right now because Kenny Omega has the entire parking lot blocked off, and he's not on the list. Josh Matthews comes through for the interview, and he's on the list, so he's allowed to leave. But Swan is not allowed, and then he kicks a trash can on his way out, clearly pissed. So as you mentioned there, it does look like they're going to be setting up for Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. That doesn't.
That Pebble in the Pond was all right, but I don't know if that was the right move because it makes your champ look less than.
See, and it's already big, and so it begins, and so it begins.
But that's you're right. But that's also the catalyst for him to overcome. What they do in the next page of this story will tell the real tale of if you're the second hand, you're the redheaded stepchild, or else are we going to use this as motivation for character?
I'm not trying to crap on Swan, but I just wish Callahan was the champ right now because I would much rather see Sammy versus Kenny.
I can't disagree with that at all.
What about Moose? You think Moose would have let that geek with
Kenny too?
You think Moose would have let that geek with the clipboard tell him that he can't go through, even though he was much bigger than Rich Swann? I don't know if you guys noticed that.
And that was another thing. Why didn't Rich Swann just kick him? He's a security guard. What the fuck? What do you mean I can't leave? I'll fuck you up. Like, I'm the champ.
Yeah, why didn't he dress him down? He just kind of took it, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Champ.
All
This
right.
is my fucking house. What do you mean I can't fucking leave my house?
You're fucking fired,
out of my way. Fuck you, Omega. You're an Impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. All of those are more real choices in reaction than what we got here leading into this scene.
Right, and it made Rich Swann look like absolute
apathetic.
Shit. He looked like shit. I'm sorry. He looked like shit. At least he has a hot Asian wife.
But he could get fired up next week. So that's why I say next week is the key to the response to that. Or is Swan going to be on AEW tonight?
And where was Su Yung? Anyway.
Actually, fun fact, I think Su Yung is part sort of maybe Native American Indian because she's from the Yakima, Washington area, Tri-Cities area, from the reservation area. Just a fun fact there.
Whatever she is gorgeous.
She is.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, let's get into this interview to end this show, guys. So I'm going to go over a couple things here just to kind of get through it. So Matthews climbs inside the tour bus, met by Kenny Omega and Don Callis. Brings out the champ. And they are saying that we're going to do something amazing here for the first time ever. We're going to do a nameplate change of another championship belt live on Impact. Right. So the new champ throws Mox's old nameplate on the floor and asks Josh where you were close with Ambrose, right? Callis says this wasn't just a few weeks or nothing in the making. They think in years. Talks about the Golden Sheik, which, by the way, I'm disappointed. I know you just woke up, Big Ray, but I was disappointed we didn't have a Photoshop edit of Big Ray. Sorry, Hamin in the picture, so I'm expecting to see that later.
A lot of people know that when I called myself the Golden Ayatollah because I was looking up Sheiks and obviously, Original Iron and everybody else who's ever done the gimmick, that when I ran across the Golden Sheik, that's why I took Golden Ayatollah from that. So I tried to pay respect to everybody I could, but it wasn't until I saw that last night that I was like, oh, that's good.
Yes, so I expect a Photoshop edit of that later today, Big Ray.
I will do my best.
Thank you. Of course, he continues on by saying that he claims he's been looking after Omega like an invisible hand. He didn't come back to professional wrestling to be a color commentator. For this right here. It was all part of the plan. Matthews asked him if they feel that they had to use the microphone last week to screw over Jon Moxley and if it tarnished the title's legacy. Omega turns it on him and asks Josh if someone put their hands on his father figure, if he'd want revenge. He's talking about putting his hands on Callis. He acknowledges that that there was a gentleman's agreement in that match, but Moxley changed the game when he put his hands on Callis. There's a couple quips in here as well. You're the Stanford stooge. They call Josh Matthews. The ribbing on Josh Matthews is interesting, even though they technically Don Callis.
Wasn't that the main part of it? It was just to make Josh look like a stooge and Callis got himself over. It really didn't have shit to do with Omega. Then Omega starts talking about fucking X-Men #1 and Spider-Man #1, and that's what the title is on his wall. And wouldn't it be great to have these in his collection? And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about right now? You don't remember when Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H started talking about their fucking G.I. Joe and Transformer collection? You fucking pussy nerds. What the fuck is wrong with you? You loved wrestling. You're in this business as a family, and in your big build-up segment, you think about shining Spider-Man #1 and X-Men and putting over a Superman comic book is gonna fucking help people tune in, draw, or give you any heat to build in a storyline? How delusional are we in that this is pre-taped and you went, this was fucking great. This is what we should have gone with out of the fucking gate right here, you guys. I was shocked at how big of a miss this absolutely was. All it did was put over Don Callis as being generational in Kenny Omega's life. It had nothing to do with Omega being the best thing. And then at the end, they want to mark out for some shit where he points the gun and does that like we're in New Japan and it's some anime motherfuckers, tape trader masturbators who give a shit about that. I think even Jargo would have watched that and gone, wow, that was fucking stupid. At that point, like, dude, that was for nobody except a complete delusional inside wrestling bubble of the elite self-serving audience. And even when they were doing it, like, he's going to do the thing, the sexy thing. And whenever you set something up or a cool guy to be the dancing monkey and be cool, it goes off like a fucking fart in church every single time. And this was no exception to the rule. You couldn't have ended the show on a more lame, more nerdy, more self-serving, no business forwarding segment than this right here. All I took away from it was that look at how long these guys have been connected and that they like ribbing on Josh Matthews as an ex-WWE stooge. That was the only business that got done. Brutally bad. Brutally bad.
Before you jump in, Ray, just to wrap up the last couple things here was what Ray was saying. Omega said that he's had the greatest singles matches, tag matches, cinematic matches all over the world. I'm not going to name off all that crap. He says he's starting to get pissed off now because Josh isn't treating him with the proper respect that he deserves. He's a Hall of Famer in his 30s. Says, so why is he here? And then this is what you talked about, Ben. Why Impact Wrestling? Omega says as a child, he collected comic books, but he had to quit because no matter how much money he spent, he could never quite get the most rare books of them all. But now he's got the Action Comics #1 in professional wrestling, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and he's here to have fun. Maybe add to his collection.
Right there, cut. I would have gone, cut. We're dead in the water with that, bro. Nobody's going to relate to that. Like Action Comics #1. Can't picture it in my head. Nobody fucking knows. We're going to have a whole different line, bro. Please make a Super Bowl reference, a World Series reference, a fucking Lakers, a Kobe reference, anything that the world understands, you delusional motherfuckers. Roll tape.
Well, Omega laughed at the idea that he would wrestle or defend his title tonight. He says that he will give the fans a gift. He'll do his thing for the first time on Impact. Throws up the finger gun, says good night and whatever, goodbye, and bang. And that is how Impact Wrestling went off the air. So before you guys get into it, I just wanted a couple things I thought this was interesting. I was literally sitting there, of course, watching this with my buddy Joe. And when he started talking about comics, I was like, why is he talking about comics now? I'm like, that's a little weird. Shouldn't be. I don't know if this is necessarily the place to be talking about that. And then, the promo was long. It was half of it, or I'd say the first 11, 12 minutes was Callis talking, as you mentioned, putting himself over heavily. And then we got into Kenny Omega, and he kind of came off looking like a dork. And then the show ended. And then that apparently there's going to be some big reveal tonight on AEW Dynamite. So
have everybody around a monitor. Have everybody in Impact on a monitor backstage watching this. So it shows that the boys are even watching to show how important this shit is, right? And Omega should be I am the best in the world right now. And this title, the AEW title, not that bullshit WWE title that looked like every other one of them. So you can go and buy it for Christmas for your kid and they can be as good of a champion. I'm a real champ. Look at this title. Look at it. This means I'm better than Sami Callihan. This means I'm better than Chris Bay. This means I'm better than Moose. This means I'm better than Rich Swann. This means I'm run them right down.
I'm better than Roman Reigns. This means I'm better than fucking Drew McIntyre.
He didn't even mention the people he's better than. It's about shining the whole locker room that they're there. It's about Kenny Omega mentioning their fucking name and mentioning ex-champions and saying he's better than them. Superman #1, Spider-Man #1. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but they changed the nameplate. That's fucking
that
awesome.
was great. That was just some gripping
First time ever.
stuff, bro. Gripping
First time
stuff.
Very long promo. Very long promo. Big Ray, go ahead.
I mean, what else can I add? What else can I add? Like, seriously, I can't add any more to what been said, other than the fact that I said the same shit. This was bad. I don't like. I need to hear somebody explain to me how any of this was actually good. Kenny Omega came off to me. See, he didn't come off to me arrogant as a great champion should, like a Buddy Rogers. He didn't come off that way, or Ric Flair. He came off kind of goofy. There's a difference between being arrogant and know that you're good, and being goofy and geeky, and it was weird, dude. It was such a weird, awkward fit. And then again, they have Josh Matthews there, Ben, right? And Matt, they have Josh Matthews sitting there. Why are you so using Josh as, oh, he's the WWE guy? Who is that? Oh my God, what is wrong with him? That's
a legit Bros right there, bro.
Dude, did he drink his own coffee this morning? Because I think he needs a cup.
That was yesterday on Raw and SmackDown review, so that's up now.
I gotta
Hey,
check
Big
that out.
Ray, you know, we're talking about Kenny Omega. Can I jump in here and ask you a question?
Yeah.
Go around.
Sure.
Do you? And Ben always talks about show don't tell. Do you think Kenny Omega shouldn't have said anything? Callis cuts his promo. If he had cut his promo and then told Josh, "Get the fuck out of here," would you have been a little bit better with this if it ended like that?
It's catch-22 because you're coming to tune in. You're tuning in to see the champion talk.
You get to
You know
see
what I'm
him.
saying?
Well, they didn't technically say that he was going to talk. They just said, "Tune into Impact tonight. We'll answer all your questions."
Yeah, I don't know. I think you lose both ways. Kenny
What if
Omega-
even like, sorry, just got to go back to my thing. What if all those guys are watching and he goes, Moose, you're a bitch. Sammy Callahan, you're a bitch. And like all of these guys come pouring out and are banging on the outside of the bus and they take off and the window opens and Omega's just hanging out the window. Fuck you to all of them. You know what
They
I mean?
throw Josh out on the way out or something.
On the way out and he tucks and rolls. You know what I mean? Something along. We didn't have any show don't tell whatsoever to incite catalyst, bro, for fights.
Like why didn't Rich Swann make his way out into the parking lot?
You know what I want to do? The only heat you could do from this, and Kenny's supposed to be the heel, but to get heat with him, you know what I do? I go talk to Khan. I need even a reprint. You don't got to give me the real one. Give me a reprint of Spider-Man #1. Right in front of him, bro. I just be tearing up comics all day long. I'd do promos where I'm sitting on the shit or taking a hot one and I fucking ripping pages out of Spider-Man #1, wiping my ass with it and fucking throwing them away.
You know what annoys me? You know, people really get at me because I change my mind at times. I feel like as a consumer, I have the right to change my mind. I can like something and then not like it the next week.
He's a big Darby Allin fan already.
I'm a huge Darby. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. I changed my mind. There you go. Now all you fanboys out there can suck it because I guess what? I love Darby Allin. My favorite wrestler. And I can say that because I am the consumer. I'm the person watching. I hate the fact that I'm not allowed.
It's a fact that you're the consumer.
Ben, I am the consumer. It's a
the 9-inch consumer.
Oh boy, you have no idea. Like, I have the right to say that I didn't like what I saw on this. Like, this gave me nothing. I left with such a bad taste in my mouth. And here's the fucked up thing. Whether people understand it or not, I've given this, not that my opinion is the most important one, but I've given this company a couple of chances to like woo me. Now, I have to see. That's why I said I'm going to see what happens tonight. I'm going to see what happens on AEW. And maybe we get everything that we're talking about tonight. Maybe we get Impact Wrestling stars showing up.
Dude,
you know, I'm just saying.
After that go home, you have high expectations of what they're going to do tonight?
I do not.
Well, there you go.
But here's the deal. If we get it, see, this is why you tune in. If we get it, then this is something I can sink my teeth into.
Well,
And
tonight isn't the big night for AEW. The Shaq is coming tonight, so there's your highlight. It ain't about TNA or Impact already. Shaq is gonna do an interview with somebody tonight as well, and Sting's gonna talk. Impact already shoved to the side.
Wasn't Shaq there with Hulk Hogan back in
It's gonna be no, that was
1990.
Bringing back Karl Malone for the next pay-per-view. It's gonna be good.
Oh, is Jay Leno going to be there too?
Yeah, he's gonna kick everybody's ass. He's running in at the end.
And DDP's going to be doing yoga spots while
and No Limit Soldiers are gonna come in and fucking set the show off. It's gonna be a great Impact.
Who?
I mean AEW.
What?
No Limit Soldiers.
Who? I know Master P.
Hootie who? Not who.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, look, guys, I don't want to talk anymore after this. I'm just going to say that this segment was not good. Kenny Omega did nothing for me, and he you know what he looked like? He looked like a more Jack Tony Khan. That's what I saw. It's like Tony Khan is rubbing off on these guys. Does that make sense?
I've heard Omega and those guys are just mailing it in at this point, bro. And he's been working a lot on his own stuff on the outside. So.
Good for him. Good for him. Guess what? Guess what Kenny Omega's doing? He's making money. Fuck it, right? Isn't that what this is all about?
I guess, but I also got to make a legacy at the end of the day, and this didn't do much to do that.
Well, I'm gonna paint half my face and fucking make some money this week.
So I think you'll do good down at Times Square, giving hand jobs with a half painted face. It'll be really.
Why
good.
do you have to go that?
You can paint the other side of your face, but
why do you have to go that? Have you seen my hands been? These things.
Yeah,
are
I know. That's right. You can do two at a time.
Two at a time. You think so?
Yeah.
You have to have a fudge to 420 gimmick
Yeah.
to anyway.
Somebody gift Matt right there. But yo, that's total all elite nonstop Impact.
Hold on. I want to hear what Matt has to say because I want to hear Matt explain to me why he liked this because he did say that, Ben. I'm sorry.
The show's going on forever. Let's go.
No shit.
Well,
Sherlock, I got things to do.
Well, I didn't say that I liked this specific segment. I said I liked the show. I liked the overall show itself. I liked the matches. I liked the show itself. And while I didn't like some of the things they did in the Tony Khan ad, and I didn't like some of the things they did in this post AEW bus scrum, I did like the inclusion as far as the excitement, as far as to watch, to see, the two brands interact. So, I mean, overall, I didn't dislike the show. I thought it was a decent show, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen tonight on AEW.
I was shocked by the Khan buy-in thing.
Yeah, that's very shocking.
How lackluster this finish was. It wasn't like Impact sucked and everybody blew it. Everybody who had a match kicked fucking ass and did what they were supposed to do on the Impact roster. The pre-tapes all worked. Even the fucking breakup ones with Alicia and the model chick and with, Deanna in the office, all that shit worked fine. And Dreamers was great too. Dreamers was really a high level one of how the office really works, where one guy protecting the boys versus the other guy protecting the money and the business are going to clash heads. And that scene was good, but boy, what a bad go home.
Conversation we can save for tomorrow night. The fuse I think it'll be interesting. I think that Kenny Omega shouldn't be talking anymore. If you're going to have Callis there, he shouldn't be talking. So
I can't disagree with that.
So I guess we'll see what happens tonight on AEW, and we'll talk about tomorrow night the fuse with Ben Hamin, myself, and Chris Silvio. I'm your host on the scene where the air is clean. I'm lighting up green. Your boy MSG. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew_Schaffer. New episode of New Force Order drops tomorrow, as well as a brand new episode of the Star Trek New Academy podcast with John Enright and Triple D. Check out our sponsor, of course, ZordosOliveOil.com for the finest artisan Greek olive oil. RussoBro.com Big Ray has been drinking on all morning for the Russo Bro coffee. And StevieRichardsFitness.com, ProWrestlingTees.com, Canyon-Handlebar.com, and go do stuff. That's it. I'm not sure.
And soon maybe Creality 3D printers. I'm hoping.
Big Ray Hernandez. Where can the people reach out to you and tell you their love for professional wrestling?
Well, just so you know, guys, I changed my mind and I changed my Twitter handle and I changed my Instagram. So it's at Big Ray Hernandez. It used to be at Big Ray Show for many, many years, but I have the right to do that because, I changed my mind. And by the way, I'm AEW's biggest fan now.
That's right.
Fuck Impact. Anyway, guys, look, you may agree with what I have.
people, huh? That's interesting.
Nah, I have absolutely no hate for anybody. Trust me.
No, I
Hate-
mean people have been fucking with you. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, it is what it is. I could not care. Look, guys, it's wrestling. It's a TV show. I could care less. I mean, not that I don't care. I love wrestling, but I could care less what you have to say because my opinion is mine, and I'm never gonna change it. If I feel that way, you know what, Ben? Would you stop?
What did I say?
I'm gonna give you a hand job. How you gonna like that? How do you like that, huh?
We'll see how I like it.
I'll teach you a lesson, Ben.
We'll see how hard you can hand job me.
Oh shit! I will give you the toughest, strongest hand job. Anyway, guys, just follow me on Instagram, social media. Find me on Facebook at Raymond Big Ray Hernandez, and I'm done. I can't wait for the show tonight.
Yeah, I'm pumped tonight too, man. Not just for Impact and AEW if they do any more business, but for the Conspiracy Horsemen, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. Join us 7:15 Eastern time. We're going to be having on 4VKM creator, so some great propaganda. But before that, at 2:50 p.m., we're only about 2 hours and 20 minutes away, T-minus Twitter bomb infidels. So join us to get over the free month of Russo's brand. We're looking for that help, and we're going to go live at 3 p.m. on Twitch main page. We had about 2,000 live in there with us last time. So join us, and we'll spread the word, try and get more free people signed up, because that's just going to bring them to the Hamin Media Group even closer, and expand our numbers and expand our power, because that's what we're here to do, is take over the wrestling galaxy, infidels. It's MSG. He's all elite, total nonstop action, Impact Wrestling, and it's Big Ray all day. Catch him down, again, put down 5, and you can have it your way, I think, if you want to. And me, I'm Ben Hamin, infidels, Darby Allin's #1 fan, and I'll be back every day of the week putting out more content here on your Impact Attack at hackerhamin.podbean.com. Y'all.